Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on NHL Gamer. My name is Doogie, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Sin. Sin, how are we on this fine Monday?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and your background looks a little different. You want to share with people, perhaps, why that is? Big things happening in the world of Toogie.
Yeah, mid-move. Welcome to the new, very, very unfinished office that I'm very self-conscious about for the sake of Echo. But live from the void, where else would I be? I want to be right here with NHL Gamer, of course. And today, Sin, we have some interesting matchups, to say the least, in the early stages of this new season. We kicked it off last week with some spectacular action, and then you see there today 4 different matchups in this broadcast. We have hREDS and Jyväskylä heavyweight tilt here to kick things off, and a little bit later on in this broadcast, it's Northern Ascendancy taking on Kova, who have had a very interesting start to this season as well, to say the least. We'll cover everything that we can to get you set up. And a look here at the standings before we get into our first matchup here. Sin, it's been a picture-perfect start to the repeat campaign for Philadelphia. 6-0, 30 goals for, just 4 against. They have been as strong as expected. Is there anything that stands out for you there that might be a little bit surprising through the first match, through the first match week or so?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You look at it's Vesapampa up there, 9.6 games played, having the same record right now as Havu Gaming. hREDS, not up there yet, but, very, very few games played. They're going to definitely look to push their way up into that. But you can see just how fluid that top 5, and even really maybe even beyond that, how fluid that, top 8 is going to be throughout the course of this season. So many competitive teams, and with all the roster changes, I think it could get even more crazy. I mean, perhaps no surprise to see Phila up there, but, some of those other names up there currently, very, very impressive.
Obviously, too, a big discrepancy between the amount of games played. Some with 4, Poggers you see with 8 games played already. So interesting, of course, to see how it plays out through a 30-game regular season. But again, with that, our action to kick off today's broadcast, I called it a heavyweight tilt, and rightfully so. It is hREDS against Jyväskylä. Of course, hREDS making it all the way to the championship round last year before falling to Philadelphia. Jyväskylä, of course, a perennial playoff contender at this rate. But Sin, a 2-2 start might be a little bit surprising, as, of course, we saw last week they split a series against IQ, and as well splitting a series against Northern Ascendancy, who we'll see in action a little bit later on. Whereas for hREDS, it's been business as usual, taking care of both Sawo and the previously aforementioned IQ, of course, in a very interesting game that went to overtime that we get to cover here right on this very channel. Again, interesting starts for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with Jyväskylä, a 2-2 start, perhaps not the worst, but when you look at, the 2 teams that they split with, you kind of have to question, is everything all right for Jyväskylä early on? Are they still figuring some things out? And I'm sure, we're going to touch upon that later. But yeah, you said it, hREDS, business as usual. They know what they want this season, and they're working to get it. And I mean, the start that they have doesn't lie. What a tremendous start for them this season.
So with that, let's take a look at the starting lineups here as we get you set for our first of 2 games between these 2 clubs. You see on the left-hand side the hREDS lineup with new addition Villapoika, who we had questions about how well would he fit in with this team. Like a glove, I think, would describe the fit so far. Centered by the captain Benito, Nicky Dangles on the right. Of course, the new defense pairing of Domi and King of Apes, and FaZe in between the pipes. We'll talk about him in a little bit as well. For Jyväskylä, Yoki, Antti, and the captain, Indy up top. Visile and Elmari on defense. Sandro between the pipes. With that, let's get to the individual breakdowns. We'll start off with the battle of the centers, as we always do. Again, it is Antti against the captain in Benito. Sin, Antti off to a pretty good start at this stage, but Benito right now, we said in general, hREDS are on the warpath to get back to the championship round. He is one of the best players in the history of the NHL Gamer banner, and he is picking up where he left off last season.
Yeah, I mean, unconscious would be a way to put it. This is exactly what you want from a center. He's leading his team in assists. He has 14 points, as much as, Villapoika, and just one shy of Nicky Dangles. Oh, and by the way, he has a 58.4 face-off percentage. His opponent, Antti, while he has had a decent start, 6 points in 4 games, 14 shots, leading his team in that category, only 43.8% in the face-off dot. So he's really going to have to hope he did his homework on Benito and some of his tendencies, or this could be an ugly matchup in the dot.
That as well. We'll move on to the wingers that you mentioned there. Again, for hREDS, it's Villapoika and Nicky Dangles. For Jyväskylä, it's Yoki and the captain, Indian Againson. Right now, a huge head start in terms of the point totals for the hREDS duo. For Jyväskylä, though, again, very competent players. Of course, the pickup of Yoki from hREDS, huge factor in this matchup, and obviously is going to be a huge factor on how they do this season when you get a player of his ability. 7 points in 4 games, maybe even a little bit behind the pace of what we expected.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as one of those leading point scorers last year, definitely kind of not the start he wants, on a new team, sure. But, you look at his one of his old teammates there, Nicky Dangles, who is, more than doubling his point output in the same amount of games played. It's, it's a pretty rough start for Yoki, but Jyväskylä has been known as more of a defensive team. And however, maybe they're struggling a bit in that regard as well.
With that as well, we'll move on to the battle of the defenders. 4 of the best that the Elite Division has to offer here. Domi and King of Apes for hREDS, Sile and Ilmari on defense for Jyväskylä. Sin, we know all these guys can put up points. Surprising so far, though, I would have to say, is last year's leading scorer in terms of defenders in King of Apes under a point per game right now. Just goes to show how versatile the offense is for hREDS.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, they could pretty much score from everywhere. And yeah, with Domi, I mean, he was always a tremendous offensive force. Now, perhaps in a system that lets him, run that sort of style a bit more, he's really showing what his capabilities are. And yeah, again, King of Apes, maybe a bit of a slower start, but also he's averaging 1 minor penalty per game. So that's, he's off the ice, he's killing a penalty, a bit less ice time for him to have the sort of impact that he's used to having. But I'm sure a bit of that comes from, working with Domi a bit more. But yeah, Sile, Ilmari, good point totals for them. Good anchors to have for Jyväskylä, who seems to be, at least on the forward end so far, struggling to score. It's good to know that they have Sile and Ilmari back there to sort of help that offense along. Perhaps they could be a spark in this matchup.
And with that, of course, our final head-to-head, it is the goaltending duel that we have for you here today. It is FaZe, who was a gigantic pickup, to say the least, for hREDS, last year's Rookie of the Year. And Sin, needless to say, he is living up to the hype. On the flip side, it is Sandro, who, as you can see, has only started 2 of their 4 games so far. The 85% save percentage compared to Swag's just under 74. Sandro's been the guy so far, granted in a very small sample size, but I think this is their guy to throw out there in a very high-profile matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. High-profile matchup against a high-scoring team. Now we're going to see if Sandro can keep up a pace similar to that. I doubt he'll be able to sustain 85% save percentage, but, crazier things have happened. But yeah, on the opposite side, FaZe, what a start. I mean, 87.9 save percentage is ridiculously high. Yeah, it's only 4 games played, but 2 shutouts as well. Maybe he's coming for that Kape record this season.
Could very well indeed, although previously thought to be untouchable, still might be. I mean, recently set, but who knows what might happen. With that, we are moments away from puck drop here. Again, game 1 of 2 between these 2 clubs. And again, later on in this broadcast, we will also see Northern Ascendancy and Kova Esports go head-to-head. 2 teams with playoff aspirations, to say the least. But with that, Sin, as we always do, we'll throw to our keys to success for each team. We'll start off with what hREDS has to do today, and taking a look here at these particular keys. First things first, best of both worlds, and I think, this point nailed right on the head. A tremendous start on both sides of the puck. If they can keep this up, hREDS, without a doubt, going to be back in title contention this year. Second key here, you knew we'd talk about him again. It's FaZe. Like his counterpart for today's matchup in Sandro, FaZe has been phenomenal, but with that slightly larger sample size. Last year's top rookie continues to shine, and we'll see, as he could be facing arguably his stiffest competition of the season so far, if he can keep up that level of play. But then we get to a negative, and it's the discipline issues early on. The second most penalties taken, 26 in just 4 games. That was a problem as well, Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, with hREDS last year, and it continues to be a factor with how aggressive they are in hounding the opposition with the puck. In a matchup like this, especially against Jyväskylä, maybe not something that they can afford to do against the team that's taken the fewest amount of penalties so far. But since speaking of Jyväskylä, what do you got for us here? Their 3 keys to success.
Yeah, well, the first key here, I mean, we have to talk about it. Jyväskylä, off to a bit of a slow start, as we'll get those on screen for you as soon as possible. But yeah, it really speaks for itself. This is not the start Jyväskylä wanted to get off to, especially with the sort of competition that they faced so far. And this second week, it's not getting any easier. Here you have hREDS, who have, as Tugi mentioned, strong on both sides of the puck. Really going to have to step up their game here in this matchup. The second key here, Sadro. We need to get him some help. Jyväskylä has to help this guy out. He has an 85% save percentage in a split series, a 1-1 in his 2 games played. I mean, he's going to have to be great again, but he's going to need some of that goal support, and he's going to need a full 5-man commitment on defense with how strong hREDS are in their in that offensive zone. And last key here is Yoki's return, taking on his former team here in hREDS. Again, not the start he would have wanted point scoring wise, and he has, maybe a bit more to prove than everyone else on this roster, going up against hREDS, wanting to, say, he made that right decision by going to a team like Jyväskylä. So we'll see in this matchup how he's going to handle that bit of extra pressure.
Absolutely. So again, we are just a few moments away here from puck drop, just waiting for the teams to match up here, so it should only be a few moments. With that said, as always, this broadcast is brought to you by our lovely sponsors, of course, Viaplay. Wilhelm back again. We'd be remiss if we did not mention them, and of course, Kova Esports also signed on with us this season. I believe we have a quick word from our sponsor. We'll be back, and the action should be just about ready to begin.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
And you see the Colorado Avalanche in full force. I know you're very happy after what happened last night. The utter destruction of the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know. I don't think anything else could make a Sharks fan happier, given that the Sharks aren't in the playoffs.
I mean, number 1 Colorado Avalanche fan here, Nathan McKinnon, best player.
There you go. I mean, I could always break out the Bork jersey, but we'll save it for now. Or the McKinnon jersey, for that matter. My goodness. But speaking of dynamite players, of course, and those who can put up the offense, we also want to get you a quick look at the top 10 skaters so far, at least the top 10 forwards that we have here, or just skaters in general. There you go, in terms of point totals and Sin. Unsurprisingly, it is the Philadelphia 3 up top. I mean, again, just a rampage to begin the season. But I want to shout out as well Antonio Mannon in 4th so far, the former defenseman. Unbelievable performance from him so far with FBK. And then, of course, you see 2 of the members of hREDS that will be in action here today as well, Nicky Dangles and Benito. Shout out to the Poggers front 3 that are up there as well. Of course, they have a few more games in there, but it's been an interesting start, Sim, with how, we've seen this play out in the early stages.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy to see Antonio up there. Was always one of my favorite defensemen to watch, since his days on Vesapampa and his transition to forward. He always looked good, but this year, I mean, he continues to get better, and now it's really paying off for him with those point totals as well. I think, this team could be a major threat in the playoff with him just getting that much better on the forward end of things.
And as well, I think we have a look at the most recent goaltending statistics as well. And of course, unsurprisingly, FaZe is up there in 2nd. Of course, we'll see him in this matchup. But again, Sin, talk about a candidate for Rookie of the Year as a goalie from Vesapampa. It's Mr. Allsvenskan. What is up with Vesapampa being able to find goalies from lower divisions and have them have starts like this? It's been incredible. And then, of course, the usual suspects of Kape, McSavid, Saprik's also up there at this stage. But you notice 83% was the winning total, I guess, as you would call it, for McSavid last year to have the highest save percentage in the league for a pure starter. And we have a couple of guys that are over an 85, almost all of them over an 86 at this stage. I mean, it really is the haves and have-nots in the early stages.
Yeah, definitely. And it is still, as you said, the early stages. These can definitely, come back down to earth. But good starts like that can really help pad those stats. And perhaps we'll see some higher save percentages in this one. But yeah, you said it, Mr. Allsvenskan and the whole team of Vesapampa out of the gate strong and really taking everyone by surprise and taking this division by storm.
And with that, of course, again, just a few moments away from puck drop. We do have a look at the latest results, though, around the league. And again, we'll try to follow along with you as we can. And of course, there you see the previously aforementioned Vesapampa recently splitting games with Poggers Philadelphia. Not exactly the warmest welcome for the Swiss giant of ZSE Esports here in the Elite Division. It's been a rough go. But Sin, what stands out to me is the one team that everyone seemed to have full confidence in to make the playoffs as a recently promoted side. It was Goons. And a 1-1 split against Färjestad, getting 3 out of 4 points. That's a statement early on in their campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's huge. We saw how strong Färjestad has looked, and also contributing to a bit of the old cold shoulder welcome to ZSC Esports in our last broadcast that we were present of. Yeah, Goons, I mean, really kind of making a stand there. And we saw, I think it was a Kruketsky amongst the top 10 of skaters for points. I mean, that's incredible to have. Yes, he has some elite experience, but to be coming on with a new squad and newly into this elite division, pretty good statement series there against Färjestad.
With that, again, we are just a few seconds away, at least here, we hope, from the beginning of this series. The teams have matched up as far as I'm aware, so we should be ready to go here in a few moments at the very least. Shout out to my dog, who I think just bolted down the new hallway. It's going to be a lovely time there. That said, when it comes to this first matchup, again, this is very important. I mean, again, both of these teams absolutely expected to make the playoffs, a part of what has essentially been deemed the Big Five of if these teams don't make the playoffs in the top 5, something went wrong. Jyväskylä is very much a part of that. 2-2, though, not the best start to the season. hREDS 4-0. How do you see this first matchup going here? I mean, again, a lot of pressure. I perhaps say more so on Jyväskylä as hREDS. They're going to be feeling confident.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. The pressure is on Jyväskylä. They have to at least get the split here. Honestly, if they fail to pick up a win, even if both games go to overtime, yeah, you get a couple points, but you're really not gaining that much ground, and you cannot count on games going to overtime all the time. You can't play for overtime. That's really not the mentality you want to go into any game with, especially towards the tail end, and especially against a team like hREDS, who we have seen just make magic happen late in periods and just everywhere else. I mean, they're a scary team and a threat anywhere on the ice and a threat from all corners. Every single player on their roster can put up points. But yeah, I don't know what Jyväskylä has to do. We haven't got a chance to see him. Perhaps we'll kind of see, into why maybe they're having, such a rough start, or perhaps they just had a rough few games and they're going to come out here as we've seen them, tight defensively and really kind of frustrate that hREDS attack. But they're going to have to pick up at least one win. And for their sake, I hope they do it here in this first game, at least set the tone like that.
And I mean, you might be looking at the other teams towards the top of the standings, perhaps a little bit overjoyed to know that hREDS could drop points here today. Of course, we've seen that. Philadelphia, Halu, hREDS in the battle for that number 1 seed heading into the playoffs. And certainly what that can mean. I mean, Sen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we saw it last year with Havu gaining the 2 seed. And what that meant, you had to try to go through hREDS to get to the final. Didn't work out all that well. hREDS ended up pulling off what I think is fair to consider an upset at that stage. So there you have it. The teams are in the locker room. Sin, no surprise. Puck-moving defensemen across the board, but the exception of centers being playmakers. It has been the go-to throughout the entirety of NHL 21, and I'm sure it will continue to be throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. And we're seeing more and more puck-moving defensemen. Usually there was a lot of times, at least earlier on in last season, maybe the one before that as well, at least one other player type in there, but that really seems to be the meta now. You got that playmaker in the middle, and then, the puck-moving defensemen all across the board. That's just how Europe likes to play. They like the strong skating ability. They like the puck control and not a whole lot of bumps. That might be the PlayStation tuning, but it also is partly just the European style, definitely more of a skill-based type style style, and we're going to have to see it really come to play here. hREDS with their high-flying offense taking on what has historically been a top defense. Not so much in the start of the season for Jyväskylä.
See the golden helmet, surprise, surprise, for Yoki, the leading scorer of Jyväskylä. Again, formerly of hREDS. It's his first game against his former team here in the ECL. Let's see how this one plays out. The action is underway. The first game of 2 here in this broadcast between hREDS and Jyväskylä. So buckle up. We are ready to go for another night of Elite Division action here in the ECL. Right here on NHL Gamer. Of course, hey, make sure to drop us a follow if you haven't already done so. You're not going to want to miss anything this season. Jyväskylä trying to get a breakout going. That was an interesting situation there already, though. So Nicky Dangles right at the forefront trying to knock that puck loose.
Yep, and that's what he's really, I think, going to become known for that this season, is the strong sort of defensive pressure everywhere on the ice, blue line to blue line, no matter which blue line it's on. He is a threat, either on the forecheck or holding his own right there, and we almost saw it happen right there. Him getting, maybe a one-on-one situation or a partial breakaway just a bit, off from that. That being said, kind of the neutral zone battle that you might expect here. Both of these teams holding their line, especially Jyväskylä. I liked some of the cheeky play earlier from Sile on that dump and chase that was attempted from hREDS. Sile just kind of used his body, cut off one of the forecheckers, created some contact there, but didn't use that hit button, so no interference. Good thing about a video game here.
Record number of offsides in the early stages of a game. Chance here, and a stretch play for Yoki. He's got the breakaway, and he can't find the back of the net. FaZe standing tall. Shockingly seeing King of Apes get caught there. As he gets right back in on the attack. Cycles it back high, and again down low. Into the corner. Yoki on the off one takes the hit. Chance there for Antti in front. Couldn't hold on to it. Again cycled back down low. Good interception there, though, by Benito. Dropping back to help cover the slot. So an early scare there for hREDS. Jyväskylä so far here for the first 6 minutes or so, after those early offsides, getting the better of the possession. That's a brutal turnover there from Sile. Can't really cover that one up with all that kind of words. Good forward-checking pressure, but again, hREDS come up with it. Chance here for Domi, back across. Nobody on the receiving end of that pass. Instead, I don't know, but a bit of a surprising start here to see hREDS on the back foot looking to counterattack, but there's Nicky Dangles. You called it out. Chance here. Loose puck is recovered, though, by Sile, the new defensive addition. Another near turnover there. Nicky Dangles is everywhere so far, as Yoki has that one poked away. Very rapid pace to this one after those early offsides here. Puck down low and around the back. Then in front, he scores! Saying it can happen that quickly. Villapoika finds Nicky Dangles. There's a reason why he's rocking the golden bucket. He has another one. That's his 10th of the year already.
Yeah, and I mean, just what a play. You could really sense that coming, down that, getting that low cycle started. If you took a glance to that slot, you would have seen Nicky Dangles finding just the tiniest little soft spot, not picked up there by either a defenseman or center who honestly could have been covering him maybe a little bit tighter, but that's what Nicky Dangles to do. He's so stealthy in how he gets in positioning, and really that attack starts because partially Nicky Dangles creating so much havoc in that neutral zone, and hREDS capitalizing on it with a quick down low cycle and a quick goal here in the first.
See how Jyväskylä manage to respond. This one goes all the way back down. hREDS with a free possession. See what they do on the breakout here. Again, Domi and King of Apes. Very versatile in moving the puck. Domi has it again here. Back down low to Villapoika. There's Nicky Dangles down low. Look for Benito in front. Second chance and a big glove save by FaZe. Send that one just awkwardly finding its way to Villapoika.
Yeah, and they're kind of going back, testing that down low, presence from Jyväskylä again. Another cycle behind the net. Another attempted pass out front, going for that far side.
5-1 on face-offs as that one finds its way back to Benito. It's a few options. Takes the hit there from Yoki. Still in possession. That one can't find its way through. Big one-timer from Domi. Yoki with the big spin. Loses it. What a pass attempt there. Race for the puck. Villapoika won't win it. No icing on the play, though. We'll continue onward. Then I know that one caught you off guard as much as it caught me off guard.
Definitely. I was waiting for the whistle right there, but I mean, that was a sick attempt right there. Just unfortunately, Villapoika couldn't get to it.
Dance there, and I don't know if that one made it through. If it did, big stop for FaZe. I'm going to call it Travis Dermott-esque if he didn't blow the pass, essentially. That one off the boards yet again. hREDS maintaining possession here. Jyväskylä get the better of it for the first couple of minutes. hREDS have found their groove at the point here. It's Benito, the center, holding it. Goes down low. King of Apes has it. Pass back over to Nicky Dangles. He couldn't hold it, but he recovers and draws the trip as well. Omari will take a seat unless we have a goal here. Held in by Domi. Sends it across in front. Great chance still. The puck alive down low. Domi loses it in the double team, and hREDS will go to the power play sim. We talked about it. Jyväskylä, the fewest penalties taken so far this season. They take one here early on.
Yeah, and hREDS a huge chance. You see him going with that aggressive face-off. Watch the 1T. No, they didn't go for it.
What a play! What a goal! Domi fires one home from the point. 2-0 now in favor of hREDS as he picks up his second goal of the season.
Well, I got baited, and maybe Jyväskylä got baited. Usually when you see that aggressive face-off, it goes back to the defenseman and back over to the winger for the quick 1T. They opt not to go for that, instead sending it over to the opposite side, kicking it back up top to Domi. And what a shot right there, picking the far side corner. A quick strike on the power play. hREDS double their lead here in the first period, and my goodness, that is a deadly play off of the face-off.
Then we've seen the importance of set plays off of the draws. hREDS have already shown off a bit of that arsenal that they have at their disposal. There's another one of them. Again, Domi with the rocket from the point. And hREDS double up their lead here. Final minute of the first period. There's Jyväskylä with a great breakaway chance. Since then, it's been all hREDS. But a turnover here perhaps. The loose puck is recovered. Played down low to Yoki, trying to hold on to it. Good pressure here, layers in defense. Chance shot blocked down at the last second. That'll bring us to the second period, a 2-0 hREDS lead.
Yeah, got a bit hectic there at the end. A good block shot, but I believe that was perhaps King of Apes getting in the way of it. I'm not too sure. It was a body. Fortunate for them, FaZe wasn't in the greatest position there as the puck just kept bouncing around and somehow finding its way to a Jyväskylä player. That being said, though, the matchup, especially in the face-off dot, perhaps as we expected, Benito getting the better of it. And honestly, that second goal is a direct result of being superior in the face-off dot. It's 6-2 in terms of wins for Benito versus Antti. Antti doesn't seem to be, being able to quite get the edge he needs to sort of win those face-offs here. And that could be an issue here as his play develops, especially on those key offensive and defensive zone draws.
Let's see how Jyväskylä respond, being down by 2. Big challenge for them this season. Huge hit there. Completely takes Benito, I believe, out of play. Actually, I believe that is it's Yoki that was down. So, Sin, not surprising. Over the time, as we see a big outlet pass there from Sandro. Yoki has the puck here. Again, don't know for sure if he's injured. What a move. What a chance. What a goal. Unbelievable from the captain. And Jyväskylä are back to within 1. Sin, that was one of those goals where I wish we had your face cam up for the reaction. That was a phenomenal goal.
I mean, what a display of L skating from Yoki and Indy. And guess who gets the secondary assist on that? The goaltender, Sandro. Terrific patience, and then outlets it near perfectly to Indy, who kicked it over to Yoki, who then kicks it back, and he weaves his way through the defense. Honestly, no deke needed, just a little bit of L skating, the perfect angle to protect the puck, sneaks around, buries it on FaZe, and they cut that lead in half here early on into the second.
Again, that was just a phenomenal team effort from Sandro up to Yoki and Indy to make that happen. Again, Yoki fresh off of getting absolutely decked at the far blue line. What a way to turn that around. Let's see if they can add to that and get back into this one. Yoki tried to throw it on with Indy in front. Couldn't find any space there. Chance here now for Benito. Down low to Nicky Dangles. Tries the short side. Loses it. Benito has it again. Across to Villapoika. He scores. hREDS get it right back in. That is how dangerous this front three is.
Yeah, and they do it again. Another down low cycle, just immense pressure. Anytime that Jyväskylä got to a loose puck, one or two hREDS players was right there to force the turnover, just relentless. And once again, Jyväskylä struggling to keep hREDS to the outside, and that kind of spells trouble for the beginning of their season. Again, they've always been the kind of team that can keep teams to the perimeter, that can keep, you know, those sort of shut down some of those top offensive teams. And early on in this one, they're down by 2 once again as hREDS extend their lead, and they seem to have no answer for this front three so far.
2 goals here in the early stages of this second period. See what happens next. An unpredictable game to say the least so far. Big step up play there, but it doesn't work. Here's Elmari carrying it. Good movement here. Shot on by Sile. Loose puck in front. India chance and phase with a big kick stop there. hREDS still feeling the pressure in the attacking zone, but they get the outlet up to Villapoika. Has a pass. Just couldn't get a hold of that one. King of Apes pinching in. Puck down low to Benito. Finds Villapoika again. Good movement here from hREDS in the attacking zone. A low cycle that so many teams implement. Benito wins it back, takes the hit. Domi pinching in. Round the back goes Benito one more time. Finds King of Apes at the point. Back to the centerman now. Incredible patience here. King of Apes to Benito. Looking across, he scores! Nicky Dangles has his second of the game. Sin, I mean, what can you say about that? Unbelievable team effort, and hREDS have another one.
I mean, we've criticized this team in the past for perhaps being too patient, maybe perhaps being too antsy at times. It seems like hREDS have figured something out. That was an absolutely clinical offensive zone presence. They passed it up top to the defenseman when they needed to. They held onto the puck for a split second longer when they needed to. They passed it down low when they needed to. They fed the slot when they needed to. Perfection led to that goal right there. 4-1 hREDS.
See what Jyväskylä do here, but hREDS, I mean, again, what a way to respond. Yoki down in the corner, just getting back to his feet. In the meantime, hREDS regain control. Nicky Dangles, 2 goals in this game already. Has the puck back again, finds Villapoika turned over. Here goes Yoki, but the self-sauce is too far, and Sin, you can tell, he's either gassed or injured. He had no speed in the aftermath of that self-sauce.
Yeah, there was also a really good job by King of Apes right there to sort of get in his bubble. Usually when you can sort of, you know, get close enough to a player, you can slow them down a bit, and he was able to get just the step needed and the body position to follow up and stop the, Yoki, I think, from getting that puck back, and that's a huge, huge defensive play by him. They were almost caught out, and Yoki, the last person that you want to see one-on-one with your goaltender.
Absolutely. I mean, again, FaZe dodged a bullet earlier on. Poked away here. What a play by Benito. All alone. He loses it at the last moment. A great poke check there from the back pressure. But again, nervous moment for Jyväskylä. Now down 4-1. There's a 5.5 to go here in this period. Chance here. Rushing the goal. And FaZe is there. Elmari with a good chance, though.
Yeah, very good individual effort by him. The spinorama on the boards to, sort of protect that puck and maybe keep it down low. Actually got it back, drove the net, didn't have the pass, just tried to tuck it either on the 5-hole or short side. Just wasn't able to get it right there. And another good pinch by him to keep it alive.
Knocked loose, though. hREDS back in possession here. Couldn't find the pass to Nicky Dangles. Recovered here, though, by King of Apes. Back down in front. Villapoika on the doorstep. Second chance. Puck's still alive. Benito has it. And a one-timer there from Domi taken to the chest. I mean, Sin, it's tough to call at this stage. Like, not in terms of, like, oh, the decision. Like, to actually commentate because of how fast they are moving the puck and how many chances they're generating.
Yeah, so fast, and even more importantly, it's precise. It's really almost exactly where they need to go.
With a big kick stop there by Sandro off the turnover. I mean, Sin, we talked about last year the importance of Philadelphia and how they changed their style to be a little bit more defensive. We know they could have put up more points. There was more emphasis on the defense, as another blocker saved there by Sandro on Villapoika. And hREDS right now, I mean, they seem to be showing the signs of learning. In terms of that championship round being a huge learning experience, because I am seeing a lot more defensive responsibility, just tremendous work in generating turnovers. Here's Villapoika with the move. It's poked away at the last moment. I mean, Sin, I'm not going to call them a carbon copy of Philadelphia, but man, if you were to try and emulate a team style, I mean, hREDS right now looking like the complete package, similar. Risky turnover there, though. The puck's knocked into the corner, so maybe clean that up a little bit. But in terms of how hREDS are playing, they are playing that complete style that we have seen from champions in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they defend well in every single zone. A lot of people think defense, it comes down to being in your defensive zone, but it really doesn't. You defend in all three zones. Whenever the other team has the puck, you are on defense. I don't care what zone you're in. And we've seen hREDS be tremendous at that. They're forcing turnovers in the offensive zone. They're forcing turnovers in that neutral zone. They're able to hold their blue line well, or at least make it difficult for Jyväskylä to get it. And the most important thing is they're turning that defense into offense. We've seen them struggle a little bit at times on their own breakout, especially at the end of periods, as same sort of thing happened there. A bit of a flurry of chances from Jyväskylä. Nothing came of it though. But yeah, hREDS, you said it, are becoming that complete package. Maybe taking a leaf out of the Philadelphia book.
Pass in front there, nowhere to go. Jyväskylä trailing by 3. They keep the puck in the attacking zone. Chile down low into the corner. Pass back, but off the mark again. Yoki has been targeted. Here's Villapoika with the step, but loses it on the back pressure. King of Apes has it up high, nearly loses it to Yoki again. Great poke check by Apes. Over to Benito in front, he scores! Nicky Dangles has the hat trick. Goal number 12 in just his 5th game. Unbelievable there, Sin, but what a play by King of Apes to keep it alive in the offensive zone.
Yeah, again, a perfect play with the stick almost. I mean, what else can you say about that? It's almost seeming repetitive at this point, and no, we're really not just, trying to pump the tires of hREDS. They are on just another level right now, and it's honestly a joy to watch. But yeah, what was almost a break for Yoki, and a tremendous play by him to force that turnover. King of Apes with a perfect poke right to Benito's stick, who's able to turn that into an assist for him. They kept it alive, they kept it going, and they're not done yet. Here they come back on the attack.
That one banks off the side of the goal, turned over here. Domi, Villapoika, Benito back in front, stopped there by Sandro as that one nearly found its way through. I mean, Sin, you talk about Nicky Dangles. I mean, it was season 9 that he debuted with Butterfly Effect. He put up 70 points in a 30-game season. Of course, undersold as well. That Butterfly Effect roster, as we see another blocker save there. I mean, that roster included Nicky Dangles. It included Villapoika. It included Domi. I mean, I feel like we didn't put enough emphasis on that, especially in the season preview, of the chemistry that these guys could have. Sandro will cover this one. And for Nicky Dangles especially, I mean, season, like I said, season 9, 70 points, 26 goals. Season 10, 25 goals. Season 11, he had 30 goals and 30. I mean, again, 5 games, he has 12 goals already. I mean, we are looking at a career high, barring, this early pace falling off a little bit. It has been an incredible start to the season for him.
Yeah, absolutely, as almost another scoring chance for hREDS. But yeah, shout out to a Tiltson on Twitter who did provide at least me with that information that Nicky Dangles, Villapoika, and Domi all played together on Butterfly Effect. So there was some of that existing chemistry, and they do not look like they lost a step whatsoever.
Absolutely not. I mean, again, you talk about it. Well, prior chemistry, how much does it necessarily mean if it's been a while since you've played? Turns out that prior chemistry is still very much intact. We have 11 minutes to go here. Here come hREDS backing on the attack. Benito, Villapoika back again. Just disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. There is not a goal call that could do that justice. I could yell score at the top of my lungs, still wouldn't do it justice. Sin, what a goal for hREDS.
Yeah, just a two-man show right there. Just pass back and forth, tic-tac-toe between the pair of them. Just who's going to get the last touch? And right there, it was Benito bearing it home on that short side. What can you do as a goaltender? You have to play that far side because, guess who's over there? That would be Nicky Dangles, ready for a 1T. It stays on that left-hand side. Benito gets a tap in, and it is honestly getting a bit ugly here for Jyväskylä, as hREDS are just seeming to steamroll any competition they come across.
This might be the best we've seen hREDS play in our time with NHL Gamer right now. I mean, this is not to say, obviously, that they haven't played at a high level, but the changes that they've made, the chemistry this lineup has. Right now, there's another one. The captain strikes again, Benito in front. hREDS pouring it on. I mean, Sin, what more can you say? I mean, literally sitting here saying it might be the best we've seen them play, as they are just continuing to pick apart a playoff caliber roster.
Yeah, and to make a team like Jyväskylä, as good as they are defensively, look like they're kind of lost out there is a feat within itself. And hREDS have just continuing to do it time and time again. Their down low cycle is deadly. Their passing is on point. They honestly, it just looks. I'm honestly at a loss for words. They are just incredible right now, and it's honestly a privilege to watch.
Called it a heavyweight tilt, but at the end of the day, really only one team has shown up, and a stop there. Villapoika denied. Honestly, the slow reaction time paid off. Again, you can tell they're always going for that extra backhand, that extra move. The confidence is at an incredibly high level. Domi has it here at the point. Back down low to Nicky Dangles. Good opportunity there for King of Apes to get one through. You can see the pressure, but still hREDS come up with it. A cross stopped by Sandro. He'll play it out just to get that clock going. Between the legs pass here to Yoki. Chance again. Trip is drawn. The only penalty hREDS have taken so far in this one. Sealay's shot, a kick stop. And Jyväskylä will go to the power play. I mean, Sin as well. I mean, we'll see what Yip can do, but for Yoki, it's got to be rough right now to have a performance like this. It'll be Domi going to the box there. This has been a very surprising result.
Yeah, at this point, Yoki, you got to be thankful you're not playing in NA. You would be getting bounced on so much at this point by your former team, but that's a rough pass right there. Just nothing seems to be going right for Jyväskylä, who just can't even really establish the attack on the power play. Almost a stretch pass to Villapoika to get him on a shorthanded opportunity.
See what happens here. Down low, Sealay in front on the backhand. Can't shovel that one home. FaZe with the stop. I mean, Sin, in order to beat FaZe, it took a phenomenal A-grade chance from Indy for his 6th of the year, team leading 6th of the year. I mean, that's the problem with this hREDS lineup. Like, you have a setup here, a regular Travis Dermott back there for Nicky Dangles trying to clear that one. But I'll just keep taking shots at the Leafs all broadcast. It's fine. Kape will be happy. Habs in 7. It's going to happen. Chance there. FaZe able to find and cover that one. Sin, to that point, you have, it's almost Tampa Bay Lightning-esque. I'll throw that comparison out there to piss off Playmaker of Philadelphia. That he doesn't get that comparison, but in the same way, you have this great group in front of the goaltender, and then if you get past them, you still have one of the best goaltenders in all of competitive sixes to try and beat, as he makes a series of stops there.
Yeah, and hREDS getting a little sloppy in their own end here. Good pressure coming out from Jyväskylä, so perhaps, some building blocks there, but, to be able to do that, they got to get the puck in the zone first, and that's been tough against hREDS in this matchup as they don't score on the power play and just, unable to really get anything going. Those were perhaps some of the most dangerous chances we've seen besides, the breakaway and obviously the goal, and nothing was able to come of it. And other than that, they haven't been super dangerous.
Chance for Sealay, can't get that pass across. Domi was all over him. Final minute of play here in regulation. The first game of 2 between these two clubs. And of course, we'll see, as another big blocker stop there by FaZe, we will see if Jyväskylä can put together a better effort. And again, later on in this broadcast, it is 2 teams of playoff aspirations, Northern Ascendancy and Kova Esports, going head-to-head. As you can see, Villapoika just getting mauled, but Benito wins it back. Up to Domi, can't get that shot through. Second chance, nearly swept in. Puck still loose. Final 10 seconds here. Again, hREDS going for another goal. Domi in front, loose puck, chance for Villapoika is denied. Sealay just getting mauled. Relentless pressure all the way to the final buzzer for hREDS. They take this one in commanding fashion, 7-1, the final score.
Yeah, and that's one where if you're Jyväskylä, you just have to throw that away. I mean, everything went right. hREDS was great offensively. They were good defensively. Struggled at times to sort of get that puck out, but you're not going to be perfect against Jyväskylä. They are, too good of a team for that to happen. And then Benito won the faceoff battle. I believe the final tally was 17-1 faceoffs to 9 of Antti, and that's, again, not going to be good enough. And what really led to some of those early goals was Benito getting possession for his team. We saw it on, I think it was the second or the third goal that came on the power play, which we're going to get a look at right here. The pass down low, using that one-time play as bait in that aggressive face-off circle. We'll tap on that again. It's almost an unstoppable play for a goaltender in this iteration of NHL when you have that aggressive face-off. The pass to that one-time option on the wing side comes so fast, the goaltender can't often adjust and get over there in time. But in that case, perhaps teams are catching onto it, finding out a way to stop it. They use that play as bait, kick it down low to Nicky Dangles, who goes back up top to Domi, and he buries it on the one time. Just tremendous job, and every other goal just came from incredible cycle work from hREDS. And honestly, if you find a goal in there that you can blame on Sandro, I will give you tons of money, because really he had no chance on any of those goals. You can't put it on him. He didn't have a bad game by any means, but he got scored on 7 times. Just hREDS was just on a level that Jyväskylä simply couldn't contend with.
Yes, and I can't help but agree, right? One of those situations, like, if you're a goalie, what do you do here? I mean, there is just no resistance from the team in front of you to make that happen. You just have 2 players barreling down on you as fast as they can possibly go. I mean, again, all things considered, just a dominant performance for hREDS there. Jyväskylä with a very short amount of time to try and regroup. We'll break down Game 1, get you ready for Game 2 on the flip side of this word from one of our lovely sponsors.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
All right, and again, we thank our sponsors at Viaplay. For those of you in Finland, of course, the information popping up in chat all throughout the broadcast to be able to check out the Stanley Cup playoffs continues tonight as well. Make sure to check that out. And of course, Wilhelm for sticking with us. Kovalan Lakritsi as well. Now, Sin, it was mentioned in chat, somebody asking for the score. My response is yes, because there were a lot of goals in that one. 7-1, hREDS beating Jyväskylä in that one. I mean, we spent the entire game, and rightfully so, talking about hREDS and what that performance was. Again, Nicky Dangles up to 12 goals in 5 games already. Benito as well stays above that goal per game pace. This team is just so well put together right now. Like we mentioned during the cast, the old ties to old elite clubs and what they have now. I mean, again, a well-oiled machine at this stage. And, looking ahead as well at the schedule for hREDS, which is definitely something that I wanted to be able to discuss here, because some people might be saying, okay, when's the big challenge coming? And I think everyone knows what is meant by when are the big challengers coming. Of course, we're talking about the likes of Philadelphia or Havu. I mean, next for them, they're looking pretty good. They play again this Wednesday against Goons. Big challenge for Goons as well to prove their merit as a hopeful playoff team. Then they take on Rusty Blades this Thursday, which, for Rusty Blades, that could be a rough day at the office. They play Kova next Monday, but then, Sin, next Thursday. I am very upset we don't get to cover this. This broadcast will be in Finnish. They play Philadelphia on Thursday, June the 10th. So we will be missing out on that one. And then from there, I mean, they don't have their matchup with Havu until the end of June. So, I mean, this is a team that right now is going to have the ability to go on these long winning streaks in theory, unless one of these teams can show up and catch them potentially on a bad day. I mean, is it interesting that that's already the conversation that we're having with them? Yeah. It's similar to a Philadelphia and a Havu. I mean, I think, we were a little bit concerned, right? You make it to the championship. It's like, okay, it's a big 3 now. But then you lose Yoki. And we talk about the changes to the team, and you say, okay, what are they going to be? No, they're still very much in that conversation. They are in that Philadelphia and Havu conversation of it's going to take a team to play their best, and maybe even for them as an hREDS to be on an off day for them to drop points, and they've earned it so far.
Yeah, I would even say they're more firmly in that place of the top ones. I would like, I have a hard time saying that either Philadelphia or Havu is maybe even any better than them. Again, it's going to have to take them playing each other to really kind of, figure that out. But yeah, 0 steps lost for hREDS. That was the question. Are the lineup changes going to be affecting them? If at all possible, they're better. I mean, obviously it is possible. They could win a championship, and that seems to be their goals here. And honestly, they're playing at a level where I really think they could do it. They could beat, one of our, mainstay championship teams in Havu or Philadelphia if they meet them there. But they're going to have to get there first. They're going to have to keep playing at that level. And honestly, the numbers coming out from Nicky Dangles, it seems like scrub hunting numbers. The thing is, there's no scrub teams in the ECL Elite. There simply is not. This isn't, a league with, tons and tons of teams where, people are getting drafted from all over. These are pro players, like handpicked esports in the top of the world. And I'd honestly, argue the top of the world. Some of the NA guys may have something to say about that, and we will settle this eventually one day with a LAN tournament. But at least on the top of Europe, these are the best players, and you have guys just playing above and beyond the best players in Europe, and it's kind of insane to watch. And yeah, they only got better, and they're a scary team. That's the only way you could put it. Jyväskylä, they wanted to set that tone there in the first game. We said they need to set that tone here in the first game, and they simply did it. They got just kind of steamrolled there, and it's harsh for them. It's harsh for perhaps us to say it, but what else can you say after a 7-1 victory like that? That what didn't come down to bounces. It was pure skill coming out from hREDS.
Now, for Jyväskylä here is, again, we get you set for the second game of 2 between these two teams and what this could mean for them moving forward. You got to look at the replays here from that first game, and don't worry, there are plenty of them to show in terms of hREDS just running up the score. I mean, same for Jyväskylä. I mean, right now, the concerns we might have had for hREDS over chemistry, I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I mean, you could see Yoki still, the same player we always thought he was. It just didn't really work out consistently in that game. Defensively, I think Sile and Omari probably still trying to find their footing. Just overall, as a team, with the changes that they've made, and my God, that last pass was gross. With the changes that they've made as a team, it might take a little bit more time to find that chemistry. But
yeah,
again, you look at the schedule ahead. And in theory, if they're able to, at least get a point here, if not pick up a win, they have YMCA next, Tunnel Vision, Rusty Blades, Kova, Poggers. Like, these are teams that they should be able to pick points off of coming up. So you want to try to head into a point-producing run on the right note before they end up playing a game that we'll cover on June 16th, Wednesday, June 16th, as they take on Havu. So we'll be able to cover that one as well. That's the next time we'll be seeing Jyväskylä in action here on this channel. And what happens between this matchup and that 2-game set against Havu, I mean, a lot of that momentum could be dictated in this matchup right here.
Yeah, and a lot of the conversation of them being part of that top 5 could come down to those matchups. If they struggle in those ones too, I think it's almost safe to say that they're, turning into, maybe a sort of not really a bubble team, but a lower part of that top 8 team. No longer part of the big 4, maybe big 5 that we maybe expected. It seems like they definitely didn't get the best of the roster apocalypse that happened in hREDS. I mean, on just another level so far, but we'll see if Jyväskylä can figure something out here in this second game and be able to sort of stifle that hREDS attack.
hREDS, of course, the home team in this one in the attacking zone. There you see Benito rocking the golden bucket now at this stage. Pass in front of Villapoika. An early chance denied. Of course, hREDS, you already know the jerseys they're wearing. It's world famous at this point. Across the globe, people fear the red. Maybe not everybody. There might be some top teams that are like, we're not so scared. But I mean, performance like we've seen so far, and they're right back to where they left off. Who's to say? As Benito looked to take that point-blank slap shot, wins it back immediately. Loose puck again off the pads there, Sandro. Just a relentless forecheck here. Nicky Dangles holding it. Finds King of Apes. Domi back again. Shot through. Deflection knocked down. Nicky Dangles picks the corner. What a shot that was. And Sin I mean, did the last game even end? Because it feels like we just picked up from where we left off.
Yeah, well, hREDS sure did pick up exactly where they left off right there. What a snipe right there. And again, relentless pressure, all of them not chasing the puck, finding themselves to pick up that loose puck. Now, that's not always, you know, perfect like luck where that pass bounces. You have to understand what situation, and you have to hold your position. You have to spread out a decent amount in that offensive zone, and hREDS are nailing all of those boxes. Perhaps it's Jyväskylä who are the ones right now sort of chasing, and you know, in that case, I honestly feel like they perhaps weren't aggressive enough at times, letting hREDS work that perimeter until they were ready to work it towards the middle, and they get a goal out of it.
Now 13 goals for Nicky Dangles in less than 6 games. Incredible pace. Villapoika draws the trip, still has the puck down low. Gets it back to Nicky Dangles here. Has a couple options, goes to Domi. King of Apes. FaZe is out there to join the attack. Apes up to Domi. Looking to pinch in, down low, good movement, but the puck is touched up there. So to the power play, go hREDS, an uncharacteristic trip from Benito. Or excuse me, from Monty, I should say, as Indy is on the draw here. Loses it, and he scores. Villapoika. Sin, I mean, again, one of the times I wish we had our webcams up because you just facepalmed off of that one. That is a rough goal allowed by Sandro. Gives up the entire far side. Easiest goal Villapoika will score as they convert on the power play.
Yeah, it looks much worse than it does, and that's the sort of threat that Nicky Dangles is generating right now. It's a great play. You know, the stick lift, he drives the net, he has that option. Nicky Dangles on the one time. I think that's what Sandro thought was going to happen. That's why he slid over to the left to cover that short side, but he just holds that backhand and sneaks it into pretty much a gaping half of the net that he had to shoot at. And once again, hREDS get a power play. hREDS score within the first few seconds, just right off the face-off. And there's another set face-off play that they have in their books that we see getting broken out there. Again, holding nothing back. Another early multi-goal lead. And Jyväskylä on the ropes once again early on. And, oh, hREDS aren't done yet.
Loose puck there, nearly swept in by Villapoika. Let's see what Yip can do on the counterattack here. Indy has it as the only goal of the night so far for Yip. It's a good interception there for Ilmari. Pressured by Domi and taken away. Sin, that goal, and we'll see if they get another one here. That goal is the worst case scenario for Jyväskylä because right or wrong, the appearance of it, I'm not saying it's the case for Sandro, but the appearance of a goal like that is that a goalie doesn't trust his defense to take away that pass to Nicky Dangles. And that shows, again, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying this is what Sandro believes, but the body language, so to speak, speaks to not trusting your defense at this stage to be able to take away that option.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens through the rest of this, though.
It might just be on a subconscious level as they shoot for the far side right there. Almost with another one, just missing the net, and hREDS get that back.
I mean, it's been the attack as well, those late passes. I mean, like you said, it might be subconscious, just muscle memory here. Benito looking to win it. Villapoika, a big chance. Stopped by Sandro. Can't cover, though, and he finally does. I mean, if it was to be the case that he doesn't have faith in his defense, I mean, we're seeing it right now. I mean, Omari and Sele are two very, 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 very good defensemen in this league. They can't handle this pressure right now. I don't know of any two that necessarily could in the league right now.
Yeah, it's a tall order to be able to stop what hREDS is pulling out of the hat as they try another one across right there. And Jyväskylä trying everything in their power, now attacking the passer instead of perhaps getting in the face of the potential recipient because, well, that hasn't worked for them so far. I mean, they're just trying everything they can to shut down this attack, but pass is still getting through. Recovery still being made on loose pucks. The attack continues for hREDS.
King of Apes in front, found Villapoika. That one's sealed off the post. Big stretch pass to Indy, intercepted there by Domi, but turned over. And a chance for the former member of hREDS, Yoki, to make something happen here. Unable to do so, though. He wasn't the only one, but a call is made, and again, hREDS will go to the power play. Time ticking down, final 10 seconds of the period. And there it is, 7.6 to go. I mean, Sin, you bank on hREDS to be able to score in the 7 seconds, as opposed to the final minute 53.
Yeah, well, hREDS was coming into here. They were 2 for 5 on the power play. They're now 4 for 6, I believe, if I'm counting it all correctly. If they score here, it's going to be scary. Fortunately, Jyväskylä gets a face-off win, but not the possession, not the clear.
That'll do it, thankfully, Sid. I mean, I'm just sitting here admiring this checking pressure to try to knock that puck loose, just waiting for the shot. It is another perfect start. And Sid, I mean, you saw the stats there for a moment. No shots, 50 seconds of time on attack for Jyväskylä. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is embarrassing for them. This is embarrassing for a team that has playoff hopes, has made the playoffs for the last few years. You talk about the changes that they've made. I mean, this has been an embarrassing outing for Jyväskylä. I mean, again, you make the change. They had Vatu last year. Vatu, he was good. He was really good. He was one of the top. He finished second in rookie voting, but you had a chance to bring in Yoki. I don't think anyone blames you for that. You bring in Sile as well after some changes on defense. But, I mean, this has just been, and a big stop there might have just gone wide. I mean, this has been the worst-case scenario, your biggest task, your biggest challenge so far this season, as Sandro doesn't get caught cheating there, but I think that shows in the confidence that Nicky Dangles has that he might have moved. This has been the worst-case scenario. Now, you're not out of it. You're only down by 2. You can battle back here for sure, but we need to see something more from this Yip roster here. It starts with the rest of this penalty kill.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to get a kill here, turn it into some sort of momentum. It's another one-time opportunity. Well blocked there by Ilmari, but again, hREDS hold the line.
Domi holding it. Still trying to fend off Indy. Back down low, in front. Benito couldn't get the pass in there. Domi's going to be able to hold this one again. Finds Nicky Dangles. King of Apes shot it just wide. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. Nicky Dangles for Benito. The cut in front. Couldn't tuck it 5-hole. Nicky still has it. Back to 5-on-5. Benito circling down low. Holding in the corner now. Waiting. Finds Nicky Dangles again. Domi takes his time. Tried to find Benito down low. Indy again a stretch pass knocked loose, but here comes Yoki with speed. It's where he's most dangerous, but he just couldn't score. He tried to go back to that near side post. And that's 2 breakaways for Yoki. No goals over the course of the series that we've seen here today. And he's one of the most dangerous players on the breakaway in the entire Elite Division.
Absolutely, and you know, it's hard to even say if he got clean shots off. Good back pressure, and I'll have to hold my tongue. Never mind, hREDS do lose it, but every time they get the puck in the offensive zone, I hesitate from speaking because you know something can just come from them so quickly.
And there we go, an opportunity here as Nicky Dangles will take a seat. He trips Indy, Jyväskylä to the power play, and if there was ever a time to get your offense going, now is that chance.
Yeah, and if you're hREDS, you got to hope this doesn't sort of open the floodgates. We saw it happen in their matchup against IQ. They took one penalty, and then they just sort of started stacking up as we saw multiple 5-on-3s. A huge rarity here, but Antti needs to win the draw. He simply doesn't. hREDS clear the puck and may have a chance on the attack shorthanded.
Nino has it, sauces it right on goal. Sandro will play this one out. See what they can do going down the other way now. Ilmari forced to drop back. You see the quick movement just to get into the zone. Sile's pass, though, straight into the hands of Benito. Villapoika nearly made a play on that one. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage here. Let's see what they can do now. Again, those quick passes. Yoki into the zone, draws the trip. Be King of Apes taking a seat here as well. One-timer knocked down. I mean, Sim, we talked about it heading into this matchup, the trouble that hREDS could find themselves in. And right now, again, the chance is here for Jyväskylä.
Yeah. Antti needs to win this face-off.
He does. Nearly turned over. Omari over. Indy can't find the feed in front. Loose puck, still jamming away. Shot scores! The puck finds its way out to Omari. He picks the corner. It's a power play goal for Jyväskylä, the defender's first goal of the season. Not much FaZe can do on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, a couple seconds after the 5-on-3 ended, if you took that shot just a split second before, they would have still had a power play. But hREDS back to even strength now. But yeah, those 2 aggressive plays as one goes off the post that led them to get on the penalty kill, and something that we mentioned in the pregame.
We saw a similar situation here in game number 1. Shot, kick save, second chance, and big stops by Sandro. Remember those ones, depending on how this game goes. But, Sim, we saw it. I mean, we had a close game in game 1. hREDS ran away from it. This is the time. for Jyväskylä to tighten up defensively, but still get some of those offensive chances if possible. Villapoika tried to go back down low, intercepted. And Indy again quickly stick lifted, nowhere to go. hREDS not able to work their way into the attacking zone on this one. Yoki gains the line, trouble there immediately, and a counter-attacking chance here for hREDS. Benito, the spin, the chance, near post, just goes wide. Second chance there. Feed from Nicky Dangles also couldn't find its intended target. So Mari looks to lead this one the other way, and you can see, I mean, just nowhere to go. Nicky Dangles has it now across for Villapoika, nearly went. The chemistry they have, despite not playing on the same club for the past couple of seasons, certainly hasn't gone away. Probably only strengthened with Nicky Dangles improving as a player. Chance here for Villapoika, drops for Nicky Dangles, back to Villapoika. Just not able to get that feed back across. Benito the chance. Every pass into a dangerous situation, essentially, for the opposition. How do you deal with that type of pressure for a full 60?
Yeah, you kind of don't. At times you just have to survive, and that's what Jyväskylä has been forced to do here. Fortunately for them, they're doing a bit better job of stifling some of those passes. You're not going to stop all of them, but if you can stop the highest danger ones, you'll be in good shape. They've done a bit of a better job, of course, in this game, and they're stopping kind of the first pass to establish the down-low cycle as well, which helps a lot.
Seeley feeds that one down low. Good pressure from King of Apes, and again, hREDS quickly working it out of their own zone. Benito not able to work his way past two opposition players. And hREDS again regaining the puck. Final minute of play coming up here in the second period. The loose puck knocked back into the attacking zone for hREDS. Nicky Dangles comes up with it. Has Benito down low again, back to the winger. King of Apes looking across, back again, shot, scores! Unbelievable extra feed finds King of Apes, and similar to what we saw on the other side, Sin, it was a wide open cage. It's King of Apes. Sandro just completely caught out to dry there.
Yeah, thought that first one-time was coming. I think everyone assumed that first one-time pass was coming because it got over a different handedness, terrific awareness to kick that back. And Sandro, a bit of a panic commit right there, not realizing that the handedness on that side was a lefty perhaps, or, just kind of, sort of struggling, in that crease a bit, just having to feel like he has to rush over for those to protect him. And someone was in front of that shot. I believe the shot went directly under his legs. Didn't LB, didn't attempt to block it. Perhaps thought his body positioning would have been enough. It wasn't. The shot gets through, and it goes in the back of the net. Jyväskylä, one registered shot is their one goal, but hREDS, once again, just tremendous pressure from them. And again, near perfect gameplay. They're passing it at the right times. Right there, it's so tempting, even with their handedness, to just take that shot. But he made the right play of recognizing that he wouldn't have gotten the best or the cleanest shot away, and that Sandro severely overcommitted. Even looks like he used the butterfly slide, tried to slide back. Too little, too late. King of Apes gets another one, and hREDS extend their lead back to a 2-goal advantage. Once again, similar story to last game.
Right through the legs of Seeley on that one as well. 3-1 for hREDS. Pass back across. Chance there. Taken away. We've seen the best and the worst of Apes in this one in terms of the penalties, but the ability to put points on the board. That pass off the mark. Domi recovers. Finds Benito. Gets over the line clean. Knocked back into the neutral zone here. And a rough day for Jyväskylä, outscored now 10-2. Of course, as Sin mentioned, scoring on their only registered shot on goal in this one, but for FaZe, it's about the wins, not so much about the save percentage. Let's see what Yip can do now, going back down the other way. 16 minutes, plenty of time to work with, but when you're struggling to gain the zone consistently because of that blue line pressure, much like you saw there, it can be a problem. And again, just nowhere to go for Antti as he crosses the line.
Yeah, great gap control right now by Domi and King of Apes, just, forcing them to have to pull that puck back, which allows the forecheckers that time trying to power his way through, and the defensive skill sticks are there. I mean, hREDS playing as a full 5-man unit right here and reaping the benefits of that as they force another offsides. The blue line presence, absolutely phenomenal.
Fortunately for Jyväskylä, I mean, the unwillingness to dump and chase really coming back to haunt you at this stage. But again, oftentimes we see teams stick to those strategies and what works. When you have a team like hREDS who have been able to shut you down for the most part, it can make for a frustrating night of action. Saves pass off the mark there. Recovered by Villapoika. Tried to go in front. Loose puck. Nicky Dangles back in front. Wired just wide by Apes. Dangles over to Benito. Sin. Every single chance for them is unreal. Here's Yoki, though. Still fighting for it. Nicky Dangles quickly takes that one away. And Yippee Vasco, I mean, Sin, first 5 minutes of that first game, we saw them with that offensive pressure, and then hREDS just turned it on.
Yeah, and since then it's just been all hREDS. They dump and chase it right there, almost as if, you know, showing Yippee Voskala, hey, try this one out. They don't get possession of it either way, but again, forcing the turnover at the blue line. The forecheck from Yoki, unable to get the puck back, and we're going to see a delayed penalty. Bad news for Yippee Voskala.
Hands here, Sandro stops it and just squeezes the pad. So indeed, hREDS will go to the power play. Yoki takes a seat there. Has plenty of time to shine his helmet. Because again, the trip back in the attacking zone. hREDS back to the power play. 8:36 to go. A goal here most certainly ends it. Here's the set play. Benito in front, tried to find Villapoika. Nicky Dangles down low to Benito. Finds its way to King of Apes. His pass off the mark. Indy can't clear. Villapoika wins it back off the stick. Look, it's in front. He scores. Benito to who else? It's Nicky Dangles. He scores again. 4-1 in favor of hREDS, and Sin, this one's as good as done.
Yeah, and that power play now over 50% for hREDS. Wow. They didn't score right off the face-off, so they're slacking a bit. But the pressure on the forecheck from these guys and just adding in, you know, the man advantage just makes it that much stronger. Yippee Voskala, multiple times they got that puck. Not really enough time to clear it, though. You can't really fault them for not getting the puck out. I'm sure they were trying, but hREDS, like hounds on the puck, vultures on those loose pucks. And, you know, the two defensemen, Domi and King of Apes, you know, sort of collapsing, you know, into that high slot to help out, you know, provide an extra man, prevent, you know, maybe some dumps or some breakouts from happening. And good gracious, hREDS just continuing to show that they're one of the best teams here in ECL Elite.
As Yoki tries to pick it on the short side, FaZe flopping around, and somehow it doesn't find its way over the goal line. Don't know if there are any registered saves in that one, but regardless, hREDS will take the outcome. Still 4-1 in their favor as a face-off win goes all the way back to the neutral zone. It just keeps going from bad to worse. Yoki not able to hold the line, just bullied by his former teammate and King of Apes, who gets one on net. Sandro will cover. It doesn't risk it with 5:05 to play.
Yeah, it seems like King of Apes and Yoki matched up on that side have had, you know, a lot of running ins to it. It seems like, you know, that penalty taken by King of Apes, you know, maybe overly aggressive. Both of them kind of wanting to prove to the other one, you know, and, you know, kind of the chirping through their skill level. It's when you go up against former teammates like that, you always want to play at your best. Sometimes a bit over aggressive.
As Indy throws one on, FaZe with the rare necessity of needing to make a stop. I mean, especially over the first 5 periods plus worth of play. 4 minutes to go here in regulation. Again, after this, we'll have a quick intermission before turning things over to our second matchup of the day. 2 other teams with playoff aspirations in Kova Esports and Northern Ascendancy. Plenty to talk about between those 2 clubs. For now, hREDS, of course, as always, going to look to continue to pile on the pressure here in the closing moments. Villapoika knocked that one loose. Benito as well. I mean, Sin, this has been, over these 2 games, one of the best defensive efforts, although there is a trip there, and that's the thing. Mistiming that is going to lead to penalties. But for the most part, hREDS have been on point with these attempts. Domi takes the seat again. It's high risk, high reward. And for the most part, their efficiency with these risky poke checks and stick work has paid off.
Yeah, it pays off a lot more at the blue line. The second that opposing team gains the zones, those pokes really have to be more of sort of positional and, you know, kind of just positioning wise. You can't really attack the puck as much. The attacking players have a lot more freedom and a lot more room in the zone.
Chance here for Apes. Puck in the air, bouncing around, and they'll survive that one. 40 seconds to play here now. Jyväskylä looking for another goal here. They'll have a power play for the rest of regulation. Unless they score, that's going to be offside with 33 seconds to go, though.
Yeah, and look at hREDS still wanting to attack short-handed down the stretch here. That is a confident team if they're willing to keep attacking, but we talk about it all the time when it comes to teams like Philadelphia, Havu, who historically don't stop playing. Doesn't matter what the score is, they will continue to play their game, they will continue to attack, they will continue to look for goals. There's a rough turnover here.
Short side stop there. Sele denied. We've seen him pinch up in front of the power play a few times. You're often not going to catch FaZe leaning one way or another. Positioning on point so far. I mean, again, you got to kind of catch him in a mad scramble. That shot blocked down. No, glove stops. And I did not think that one made it through.
Wow.
Point blank glove save from the looks of it for FaZe.
Yeah, neither did I. I almost thought Nicky Dangles blocked part of it and it went through to the goaltender. But yeah, what a stop.
It's the final face-off there. One again. When you talked about Benito's face-off win percentage heading into this one, 58% to Anti's 43. We certainly saw that advantage play out. Poke check there. Final second for Sele. Blocked down. Second chance. Blocked as well. A tremendous end-to-end performance for hREDS. They take game 2 as well. 7-1 in the first one, 4-1 in the second. And Sin, needless to say, the idea of hREDS going back to the championship round sounds good to them. They are looking as good as we have perhaps ever seen them.
Yeah, this is probably the best rendition of hREDS that we have ever had our eyes on in the past. I mean, let's talk a bit about their passing, which we are praising so much. The extra passes, as we all often call them, they're working. So when they're working, it's definitely a positive. And at times, hREDS have always had this sort of mentality, looking for those perfect chances at times. And in the past, they haven't seemed to have the execution or at least the quickness and the positioning to pull that off. And so it comes as a negative when you're making those extra passes and it just simply isn't working out. It doesn't look good. But now hREDS are making every single pass they make seems to be the right one. Every single move they make, positioning wise, it all seems to be the right decision coming out from them. And that is simply something that hREDS haven't been able to do consistently enough to be considered, that championship caliber team. Yes, they made the finals last season. Don't know until they beat Havu if we consider them championship caliber this season. Absolutely no mistake. It is a big 3, and hREDS is part of it at the very least. And we'll see what other teams want to make it that big 4, big 5. There's again a lot of question marks seemingly being addressed right now. And if you're Jyväskylä, you're now 2-4. You have to get better across the next few matchups. You simply do it.
We talked about it. Between now and a matchup with Havu on the 16th of June, they play YMCA, Tunnel Vision, Rusty Blades, Kova, and Poggers. 5 teams that are not guaranteed playoff spots, to say the least. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, we could continue to break down this matchup for the rest of the night, but we have more business to attend to on the flip side, I should say, after this break. To combine a couple of different talking points there. We will see our second series of this broadcast, Northern Ascendancy and Kova Esports, 2 teams that do have playoff aspirations as well, will be going head-to-head. A very impressive performance by hREDS. We'll see what happens on the other matchup as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this brief intermission.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
All right, everybody, we are back. Thank you for sticking with us. Tuki here, of course, joined as always by Sin. We are ready for our second matchup of this doubleheader here, the second week of the Elite season, of course, underway. We saw a very impressive performance from hREDS, and now we're back to check out 2 teams, again, that we've talked about quite a bit in terms of having playoff aspirations. But before we get into that breakdown, of course, we do want to get you a look at the latest results around the league and get you updated on everything that's going on here. So, of course, as you can see, the matchup that we saw with hREDS. And yep, Jyväskylä, very impressive for them. Sawo as well, Stin. That's a team that we talked about. Some people saying, okay, maybe, maybe not in terms of what they're going to be able to do this season, but so far so good for the most part. I mean, a 500 record now through 6 games as they take 2 away from Tunnel Vision. So, I mean, all things considered, pretty good start for them when you have those playoff aspirations. And then, of course, as well, we have our matchup here, Northern Ascendancy and Kova. The other matchups going on today as well, Havu Gaming and Poggers. Will try to keep you updated on those if we can. As there you see, of course, the games that we have scheduled. So we'll try to keep you updated on what's going on with that series as well. So we'll look at the standings then as to what we have in the early stages. Again, a 30-game regular season sin right now. Both of these teams not quite where they want to be on the outside looking in, but that, of course, can change very, very quickly in the early stages here. But yeah, very intrigued to see how this matchup plays out again between Kova and Northern Ascendancy. So with that, let's get you guys a look at the lineups here, or at least the team matchup, I should say. Of course, thanks to our producer for being one step ahead of me on the play. Not ahead of him. He's right. I was wrong. It's fine. It's that early season rust. But Sin, you get a look at the stats there. It's astonishing that there are 3 combined wins between these teams, given that goals for, goals against, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kova especially having 2 wins with only scoring 4 goals for and allowing 10 goals against. It's, the raw stats sort of speak in a weird way, but when you look at, some of the individual matchups starts to make a bit more sense. But yeah, Northern Ascendancy, a team that made the playoffs last season. Again, they had to take on, I believe it was Philadelphia in the first round, but was able to take a game off of them. They're a really rough start, 1-4-1 to begin this season here. Definitely not what they wanted. Definitely not perhaps what some of us were expecting out of them. But, with all the changes that happen, rough start here. Here's a chance for them to get back on track against Kova Esports.
Kova with both of their wins against right now current bottom feeders in Rusty Blades. Northern Ascendancy won their first game of the season against Jyväskylä and have not won since. With that, of course, we have the team lineups for you here. For Northern Ascendancy, we see a bit of a switch, and we'll talk a little bit more of that in a minute, but it's now Tunkelia on the left, Ahola at center, Martindale, the captain, on the right-hand side. On defense, Fopa Toflan and Sparka Romberg back as well. Supreeks between the pipes. For Kova, we see the captain in Zip Player. Vera and Yarax are up top as well. Of course, pre-built chemistry between those two heading into the season, as we talked about in our season preview. Pottsberg and Sockham on defense. Finsere is between the pipes, an interesting player to talk about today as well. With that, we'll go to the individual matchups. We'll start off with the centers as we do. And with Ahola and Vera, I mean, despite the low scoring totals for the two teams, these two guys very much involved in the offense so far, Sin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Teahola, and also surprising on a team that's suffering as much as he is, winning a solid amount of faceoff, 56.7%. Yeah, both of these centers able to put up some points, not quite enough to sort of be able to boost their team into the standings, but again, that's a total team effort. What it comes down to, what you want from your center is key faceoff wins, and able to contribute offensively, but definitely be one of those first back checkers as well on the defensive end of things.
At the battle of the wingers as well. Again, previously mentioned for Kova, it's the captain in Zip Player and Yarax on the right for Northern Ascendancy, Tunkelia, and the captain in Martindale. And again, Sin, I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb right now. I mean, 2 less games played for Kova, but Zip Player and Yarax not really able to get anything going so far this season.
Yeah, and when you're the wingers on your team, you have to be the ones driving the offense and getting the production. Neither Zip Player or Yarax so far has gotten a whole lot of anything, just 0.5 pace, points per game pace for both of them. That's really not what you want. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Martindale, though. 5 goals in 6 games played, a very good total for him, kind of pulling his weight on that Northern Ascendancy squad. We'll see if he could rally the troops here and pick up a couple hugely important wins against Kova, because if you drop these 2 games, maybe even one of these games, you're really putting yourselves in a large hole early on in this season.
And on defense for Northern Ascendancy, Foppa Toflin, the converted forward, dropping back next to Sparka Ronberg as well. Sparka Ronberg, call him what you will. We're going to go with the Ronberg because I don't know, it sounds more aggressive and we're Americans. What are you going to do? For Kova, it's Pottsburg and Sockham. And against him, we've talked about how important defensive production is. I don't know if any of these four are exactly where they'd want to be so far.
No, absolutely not. I would say they're really not, and it kind of surprising from Foppa Toflin, who again we mentioned was a forward, honestly one of the better forwards from last year. Is kind of a bright spot on his squad, but unable to sort of turn that into the production on that back end so far for Northern Ascendancy. And again, that's the tale of both sides. Neither one of them with a single defenseman who's really putting up numbers needed to be one of those playoff teams.
And with that, the goaltenders here as well for Northern Ascendancy. It is Supreeks starting all 6 games so far, but still with a phenomenal 79% save percentage. On the flip side, though, it's not Monkeyhead this time. Vincere is between the pipes. Sin, a goaltender that has a lot of history under the NHL Gamer umbrella, but someone who has not suited up since Season 9 in Elite.
Yeah, well, if he looks, as good on the ice as he does in that sweatshirt, then there's definitely going to be a chance here for Kova to pull out some W's. What else could you say? Sort of, he's going to have to prove himself here. It's a good chance, a nice way to sort of ease yourself into it. Not going up against what have perhaps considered the top teams. Only 3 points so far this season for Northern Ascendancy. So good chance for him to get his feet wet and establish himself perhaps as a future number 1 here for Kova.
So with that, we'll quickly jump to our 3 keys to success, the 3 keys to the game, because we are just about ready to go for the start of Game 1 between these two teams. We'll start off with Northern Ascendancy and what they have to look to do here. And Sin, pretty straightforward and to the point. Face-offs, the first key here. Te Ahala at 56.7%, closing in on 60%, needs that to really continue to be at the level that it has been at. We saw the importance of the face-off draws, of course, in that hREDS series earlier on. The winger swap as well. Martindale was their center last year. He started the season on left wing, and now he's going to the right wing. So it's clear they're trying to shuffle things, see what they can get to work. They've had some lineup changes as well. Now is the time early on to try and figure out exactly what your team's going to be. And then, of course, the strong goaltending that we saw from Supreeks. 21 goals against as a team, but he has a 79% save percentage. It is clear with a little bit of help that you have a fantastic goalie here. For Kovasin, the 3 things that stand out to you, let's talk about them.
Yeah, well, Kova's got to start off, they got to be finding their offense. They, the 2 wins, you can honestly say that they kind of stole it based on, on their goals for, goals against numbers. It's actually impressive that they have 2 wins, scoring the amount of goals that they have so far this season. Only 4 goals for total. Pretty ridiculous. They're going to have to sort of get that going a bit more, and we saw it especially from the wingers. The second point here, Rock'em Sock'em, probably one of our most favorite terms coined here. But yeah, Sock'em back there, always physical. You have to keep your head up on a swivel because he will rock you no matter where he is. The middle of the ice, on the blue line especially, likes to close people off on those boards. So if you're a winger trying to enter that zone, be aware because you don't want to take an injury and skate slower, especially as a winger. The last key here, signs of rust. Vincere back between the pipes in Elite for the first time since Season 9. Will he have some of that rust, or will he be able to ease his way in quickly and really, be a force between the pipes for Kova, who do need some help there with all the goals against they've allowed so far?
So again, just a few moments away from puck drop, the first game of 2 between these 2 teams this afternoon, this evening, wherever you might be joining us. And again, we thank you very much for doing so. Of course, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already to be able to continue to follow along with everything that we got going on here. And of course, Sin, we're not done. We'll be back later on this week, same time as well, this upcoming Wednesday, I do believe. Matchups between IQ and Poggers, and for the first time this season, we get to call action with Philadelphia as they'll be taking on Färjestad. So very excited for those matchups as you see on screen. And of course, this Thursday as well, our Finnish broadcast contingent will be here. As talked about earlier, Goons and Kova Sawo, and Havu. So some big-time teams in action. It almost panned out that, hey, Monday is hREDS Day. Wednesday is Philadelphia Day. Thursday is Havu Day. Our 3 top teams all getting the spotlight this week here. You get a look at the teams there. A playmaker and a dangler for Kova, a two-way as well on the other side at center for Northern Ascendancy. The Senna. I really broke out in my New Englander there. Sorry for that.
And we mentioned this, I think, last time with Kova. I think that's Zip player bringing out the dangler build. Seems to work with him. Again, if you're a player out there looking to get into a competitive scene, joining a league, you don't have to play a meta build. If you play what you're comfortable with and it works for you, it's a lot better than trying to play with a build that perhaps you're not familiar with and perhaps, doesn't really fit your play style there. So we see that from these two teams, breaking out danglers, breaking out two-way forwards. It has something that you want. And obviously these two teams very comfortable with it. So we'll see how it benefits them throughout the course of this matchup. But puck drop about to occur. Let's see these two teams battle it out.
And the first game of 2 between these two teams, Northern Ascendancy and the off-white, if not cream-colored, Erode jerseys. And, of course, you have Kova in the black and red. And just excited to see how this one pans out. I mean, again, both of these two teams, the idea of can they work their way into a playoff situation, time will certainly tell. I mean, this is an interesting start to their season, of course, getting these matchups out of the way.
Yep, Zip player testing his goalie just a little bit, throwing that puck back there, a bit of a missed pass, and they go off sides right there. But Finsere couldn't, no resting on your laurels back there. Captain Zip player takes no prisoners, but a bit of a slower start to this one. It was only a couple of minutes in and offsides happening. The neutral zone battle ever so present. We'll see which team is able to sort of break in quick first and get some offensive pressure.
There's Northern Ascendancy here in the offensive zone. Down low to Martindale, trying to win it back here. Can't do so from Pottsburg. The elite rookie, of course. Quite a few elite rookies in the lineup for Kova here today. The shot wired just wide there by Zip player. Held in the attacking zone here, though, for Kova. In front, intercepted. Great job there by Sparka Romberg, trying to lead it back down the other way. Here's Tunkelia on the opposite wing in this one. Good quick movement. Martindale all the way back to the point. And again, down low to Ahala. Shot from the point. Second chance, point blank. And a big stop there as Martindale was denied. Finsere standing tall here.
Yeah, and, maybe something to keep an eye on that first shot. Almost seeming to come off that post just a little bit. Not the greatest of positioning from him. So we'll have to keep an eye on that moving forward to see if he maybe settles down a bit more in the crease there, or if that might be a problem and something that Northern Ascendancy can capitalize on moving forward.
Offside call there yet again. We might end up seeing a couple of those in this particular matchup again. Perhaps two similar styles going head-to-head in this one. It's Kova back in possession over the line, but quickly turned back over. And a trip there, so a power play coming to Northern Ascendancy. And a good chance here for them, Sin. I mean, so far this season, just 1 for 7 on the power play.
Yeah, obviously not the start you kind of want, but a good chance here to amend that as a great play came. That's that one-time play. They didn't go with the aggressive face-off to make it work, which obviously gets that one-timer off a lot quicker, but Finsere able to get over and glove that one down. Good attempt from Northern Ascendancy nonetheless.
Really good save there off the one-timer from Sparka Romberg. Another face-off one with the center in the box. Loose puck on the doorstep. And it looks as though, no, it's held in again by Sparka Romberg. Great start for him so far in this one. Martindale trying that near side post. Chance yet again, shot just wide of the post there from Fopa Toflin. Good chances here for this power play. Shot on, stopped, no rebound, given up by Finsere on this one. But Sin, strong opening minute and 6 seconds for the man advantage.
Yeah, and I do like the decision-making from Fopa Toflin. Could have taken that one-timer, decided to delay, maybe hoping to catch Finsere sliding to cover, that far side. Didn't quite work out that way, and they do get the clear here. Does Kova Esports. Northern Ascendancy gonna have to reset, see if they can get another zone entry, but so far I do like the movement and the shots taken on their power play.
Martindale drops back to the point and recovers it yet again. Not able to get that pass on target. It is sent all the way down by Pottsburg, and we are back to 5-on-5 here. So a couple of decent looks for the Northern Ascendancy power play, but Kova able to get the kill. And they looking to get right back in on the attack. Martindale over for the centerman Ahola. Back to the point, and again down low. Good move, but Martindale point blank again. Vinceres had to make a couple of big stops, especially on Martindale. Again, couple of point blank looks for the captain.
Yeah, you can see why he has the amount of goals that he has so far early in the season, really seeming to find those high percentage scoring areas and get those passes. Couldn't get the follow-up opportunity. The puck just kind of sitting there in between his legs, unable to get a stick on it. Good play by the defense to sort of be bumping him, trying to push him away from that, allowing Vincere to get in position for the follow-up opportunity. As they go offsides there, have to reset with a neutral zone face-off.
And 9 goals as a club through their first 6 games for Northern Ascendancy, 5 of them from the captain Martindale. You see him there with the golden helmet, the team's leading scorer. He has the puck here, passes off the mark though, as he crossed the blue line. Just over 6 minutes to play here in the first period, and an icing call there. So a good chance perhaps for Kova down the other way.
Yeah, we've seen a couple errant passes from Northern Ascendancy there with the sauces. They got to try to clean that up, because if you allow too many offensive zone face-offs, it could come back to bite you.
Off the draw, set play again, fired just wide of the post by a Zip player. Martindale having a little bit of trouble there. Ahola as well. It'll find Tunkelia. Has it along the half wall. Trouble there. Sakam able to strip him of the puck. Good pass there. Yarax over the line. Back down to the center. The big wraparound from Vire just doesn't go. Big pinch in here by Pottsburg to keep it alive. We saw that actually the first time we covered them. Pottsburg on that left-hand side will step in for that net front presence there. Zip player able to knock it loose. Recovered here. Sakam, good quick movement. Kova trying to gain the line, and they do. Pass over, chance, shot, glove stop there by Sabriks. The good look there for Yarax.
Yeah, good movement there by Kova on the break-in. Maybe not the look that they wanted, getting it into the zone, but I like, the sort of improvisation there, getting it back to Vire, who took that shot, had a bit of space, but good save, as you mentioned, by Sabriks.
Zip player has it again. Back to the point. Pottsburg knocked loose here. Tunkelia has a chance. Spin move. Back over to Martindale, but a good recovery there by Sakam. Shame for Tunkelia. Just the handedness there kind of cost him. That pass not going through. He knocked it loose. Final 30 seconds here. Pottsburg over to Sakam. One more rush here for Kova. Looking for the opening goal, but it's intercepted by Martindale. Maybe Northern Ascendancy down the other way. Held at the line, looking, lost it. And that'll bring us to the end of the first in a goalless game so far, but chances on both sides.
Yeah, and good attempts there from Northern Ascendancy on that last play. Good job keeping the puck in a situation where they could have gotten it. Unable to get it, though. Good stick lifts and pokes coming out. Just couldn't settle it in time to get one last opportunity. But I got to say, Vincere has made some good saves when called upon. Perhaps that, that first one early on, getting a bit lucky with his positioning, just being slightly off. Again, it's margin of error. He wasn't, wasn't an egregious play by him, but he's really seemed to settle down. And since then, plays a bit further out in the crease than you might see from a lot of people. But, really, really looking strong right here. And so far, so good. Not surrendering that goal. And Kova definitely need to get some more shots. Northern Ascendancy with that power play and the better time on attack, more willing to put that puck on net so far.
So 5 shots to 1, as you see there. But again, goalless in this one. We'll see how the second period plays out. Again, the first game of 2 between these 2 teams here in our second matchup of this broadcast. Of course, this ECL Season 12 Elite Division action brought to you by our friends at Viaplay, Wilhelm, and of course Kovalan Lakritsi as well. And NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need to follow along, not only with the Elite Division, but everything else we got going on underneath that banner. What a play, what a goal! That puck went flying at the end. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Northern Ascendancy strike. It's Ahola finding the back of the net. Try to keep your eye on this puck, as it goes flying out of the net back down the other way.
Wow, like I don't even know how to describe that. Almost like a pinball thing where it ramps around the little curve there. Unbelievable. And what a howitzer of a shot. Tremendous puck movement from Northern Ascendancy. And they get the go-ahead goal here early on into the second.
How I wish we could get a replay of that one. Ahola, now known with the hardest shot in the European scene. Chance down the other way for Kova. Good chance, just way too much traffic in front, and nobody can get a clean shot at it here. Good sauce there. Shot in a big glove save. Pinsere, remember that one. Tunkelia denied his third of the season. Now going back down the other way. Here's Zip Player. Has Sock'em with him, but he gets hit there. Off the back check from Teohalos. So this game opening up a little bit here in the second period, Sid.
Absolutely. Really, chances going both ways. A lot of rushes. One forward leaving that zone early, trying to catch the defenseman napping. Almost panned out right there. Zip Player just tried to buy some time on the entry. Got hit off of the puck. So, yeah, bit more scramble mode for both of these teams. You can see him starting to extend those breakout passes and really sort of extend the game here. We'll see which team wants to try to settle it back down first.
Chance there taken away. That was a good job by Vere to earn the blue line there. Chance for Northern Ascendancy back down the other way. Good cycle along that left-hand board. One-timer knocked loose. Recovered by Sock'em. Finds Pottsburg. Good quick passes here on this breakout. Zip Player gets it back to Pottsburg. Shot stopped there by Supreeks. Trying to go back down the other way here are Northern Ascendancy. Fopa Toflin, the former forward, trying to recover this one. Great physical play from Yarax to regain it. So much traffic, basically all over the ice. Very little space to work with. And it's Martindale. It looked like he was going to try to dump that one in. He's forced to slow it down. Let's see if Northern Ascendancy can get over the line. They can't with possession at least. We're halfway through the second period now. Again, Northern Ascendancy trying to get into the zone. Tunkelia denied of what could have been that insurance goal just a few moments ago. Again, Ahola in possession, the goal scorer. Martindale's move off the mark. Again, Sin, the pace slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, it went from wide open to just a neutral zone battle, and all it really took was a couple good plays from each of these teams. You can kind of see how, how good the level is. Once they kind of are able to settle down into their defensive formats, they can really hold that blue line well. But we'll see if perhaps one or two long passes will force this game to sort of open up again. But you can kind of tell neither of these two teams super willing to keep that going for too long.
Shot rifled just wide there by Yarax. He's had a couple of chances in this one. Now under 5 minutes to play, and offside is called. 4:36 on the clock to be exact.
Yeah, it seems Northern Ascendancy, they got that go-ahead goal, are looking for the other opportunities, but not willing to sacrifice that defense. I think that's the right call coming out from both of these teams. We talked about it, allowing a lot of goals so far early in the season. Defense has got to be a key point that they want to address. So far in this one, a good job for both of them. Only one goal total in this match.
Nail there, drops back to the defense. Sparka Romberg tried to leave it over the line. Martindale recovers. Goes down low to Ahola, back to Martindale, knocked loose at the last moment. 2-on-2, maybe 3-on-2, developing the other way. Picked up by Sock. Spin, one-timer from Pottsburg, just wide. Wraparound bid, second chance, they score! Zip Player couldn't tuck it on the wraparound. Mavira was there to clean it up. Sim, we're tied at 1.
Yeah, Zip Player definitely had it the tiniest of space on that short side. Maybe kind of got hindered by the side of the net or the post right there. Just terrific speed coming out from him. Yeah, definitely saw it hit the side of the net, and Supreek still couldn't recover in time as Vire got his stick on it. Excellent net front positioning by him. Tucks it home to tie that one up. Rocking the gold helmet, and that might not be changing anytime soon as he gets another goal right there. Kova Esports have tied this game up.
His second goal of the season. Sin, would you believe that it's just their 5th goal as a team? Vire with 2, Yarax with 2, Zip Player with 1 at this stage. So for Kova, it's been hard to come by the goals here through the first 4 games. They tie this one up here. Vire leading the way.
Yeah, and as much as we talked about, defense having been an issue so far for these teams, I mean, offense has as well. This is really a tale of two teams who need to figure something out, something that'll work, get them wins, get some good offense and good defense, but...
Chance down the other way, that pass off the mark. Fresh off his feet from the injury, it's Tunkelia. Chance in front of the big stop by Pinsere. Tunkelia was down. We called out Sockham, who absolutely ran over him. But that errant pass gave Tunkelia a chance late. Just wasn't meant to be. Sim, we go to the third, tied at 1.
Yeah, that completely threw me off. I thought that was actually one of the goaltenders making their way onto the ice with the icon color. Just at quick glance, I thought we had a delayed penalty. Completely froze me in my tracks. Midpoint, I was trying to make about something clearly not important there. So we had Tunkelia, as you mentioned, almost with a really good opportunity there. Made the pass over in Martindale. Perhaps if he was opposite-handedness there, would have had a chance to sneak that one home. Unable to do so, but, pretty good couple periods, at least defensively for these two teams, as we get another look at that goal from Te Ahola, who rockets it home and careens out of the atmosphere, so to speak. And the response from Kova Esports was a good one there. As above, all that, we've seen the game open up a bit. We've seen rush back and forth, but mostly it seems like both of these teams want to kind of keep pace here. So we start the third period off with an offsides.
See how this one happens to play out. Of course, the face-off battle, very important, as always, and it's been so important in this one so far. As that tie-up doesn't go, recovered though, Zip player over the line. He'll send it down and around. Vire, the goal scorer, can't chase it down. Ascendancy looking to go the other way. Here's Martindale. Pass off the mark as well. Yarax the quick drop pass. Vire trying to generate speed. Yarax again, just that back pressure from Ahola, taking it away. Intercepted, Tunkelia all alone. Hit with the flying poke check. Bodies everywhere. What a stop by Finsere. 2 breakaway chances just about now for Tunkelia. Incredible that he hasn't scored a goal in this one. Yarax's pass is intercepted. Poked away, Zip player trying to keep it alive, but he can't. Big hit there again by Sockham, though, to knock that puck loose.
Yeah, trying to keep that offense going right there, but really a bullet dodge from Kova. Huge stop by Finsere, an ill-advised pass, trying to hit the defenseman cross ice instead of making the simple play. Almost cost him a goal.
Big outlet pass here. Zip player has speed. Can he get by the defender? Stop and go. He does, but he elected to pass. He had space to take it all the way to the house there if he wanted to. Potoflin's pass is off the mark. They're trying to hold on to it, and he does settle it down for Kova. And work it back down the other way. Vera nowhere to go. Potoflin leading it out. Good pass there to Tunkelia. Snake bitten in this one so far. Somehow doesn't have a goal to his credit. And knocked loose. Good poke check there by Martindale to try and keep the pressure on this breakout. 3 forwards high. That'll pass the Zip player. He gets it. Knocked loose. Scramble for it. Martindale turns it over. Halfway through the third here. Then it's almost as if we're waiting for a team to make a mistake.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. They're both kind of playing pretty cautiously when they do extend a pass. It seems like the other team's there to intercept it, sort of stifling any chance to open this one up. I think it'll be the team who, maybe doesn't make a mistake, but also the team who wants to take a risk here. They're both, I would honestly say, playing a bit overly cautious at times. And it's, again, you do want to play good defensively. However, both these teams also struggle goals here, so they're going to have to open something up, take some kind of risk to get it going.
Hansen, a big glove save. Loose puck still, though. Great opportunity there. Zip player still fighting for it. Martindale, though, gets that outlet pass over to Tunkelia. He gets it back. Follow-up pass was off the mark. Let's see what Sockham can do. We go for a slower breakout. Knocked loose again by Tunkelia. Talking about teams that have, former forwards playing defense, former defenders playing forward. Just how that can change up the style of a team's play. They are not able to drag that one through again. Knocked loose by Tunkelia. He's been very good at creating loose puck situations. Big blocker save there by Finsere, robbing Martindale. Shot scores! Through the traffic, it finds its way home. Sparka Ronberg makes it 2-1 for Northern Ascendancy.
Yeah, surprisingly, 2 ways. That puck didn't hit a body or stick on its way home, and he shoots it for the short side where the majority of traffic was. I think that was Pottsburg trying to get down in front of it with the the L1, and unable to block the shot, somehow finds its way home. That puck seemingly had eyes right there. Finsere unable to make the save. Northern Ascendancy takes a 1-goal lead late here into the third period. Kova Esports is going to have to try to open it up here. They have to take some sort of risk.
Second chance in the big glove save by Finsere once more. Under 4 minutes to go now, and indeed, for a Kova squad that has just 5 goals on the season, now is the time to find that offense. I mean, these are the type of matchups that decide whether or not you're going to end up making the playoffs if you're on the bubble there. Chance, shot, wide open net, he couldn't pull the trigger. And Sapreeks will survive a very scary situation there. Sid, that's one where you can't let the goalie off the hook.
Absolutely not. Kova, great passing right there, forcing the collapse out of Northern Ascendancy, kicking it back up high, but just too much hesitation on the shot right there, and that allowed the goal to not happen.
And a one-timer from Pottsburg, taken to the chest. Couple of big stops there for Sapreeks, lucky or not. That one's certainly not. More down to the positioning. 2:37 to go.
Yeah, watch this aggressive face-off play. Good tie-up.
Not able to win the draw, though. EASHL comes away with it. Vere does get it back after being unable to get a stick on it. Trying to weave his way through. Way too much traffic there. Big step up hit by Sockham in a minute and a half, but he couldn't keep the puck alive in the zone. Intercepted by Martindale. The spin turns it over. Zip player back over for Vere. Chance here at the point. Yarax tried to get it in front. Two different people with a swing. Here's Tunkelia again. Breakaway knocked loose. Zip player with that smaller dangler build. Able to make up the ground, sends it the other way, but mistimed with Sockham with 42 and a half to play.
Yeah, good. I like that choice from Sockham, and Zip player, again, the pass wasn't quite there. He tried to just extend that puck across the line, but had to sort of weave and delay because of the hold at the blue line from Northern Ascendancy. Good job by them, because that could have turned ugly pretty quick had he made that pass or gained the zone. Sockham had a lot of speed going through the middle.
Space here. Ahola down low into the corner. Martindale recovers. Double teamed, loses it. One more rush here for Kova with 25 to play. Zip player has it. Goes to Pottsburg, takes the shot, deflected, kicked out. Pottsburg recovers. Zip player trying to hold on to it. Has options. Goes out to the high slot, takes a shot. Second opportunity, couldn't tuck it on the backhand. Kept in by Sockham. D to Pottsburg. Back again, Sockham. Low in front, cleared out, and that will do it. Northern Ascendancy, hold on in the dying moments to take this one by the score of 2-1 and to finally get that second win of the season.
Yeah, Vire almost had his second goal right there, just kind of got caught on a weird side and perhaps in a weird animation, sort of doing one of those spinning shots because of the angle right there, and allowed Sapreeks to get back over and really took away any angle on that side of the net that he had to work with. And unfortunately for Kova Esports, the trend continues. 1 goal per game average, and that's 5 goals for in 5 games played. It becomes a talking point. It's no longer kind of an early slump. It's really seeming to become a trend for them. They have to find more ways to put that puck in the back of the net. And again, at times, I think it just comes down to, I think they're overthinking it. We saw multiple times they did a great job on the rush. It's like they're getting half of the play. They backed off Northern Ascendancy, forced a huge collapse out of them. Multiple times they did this. One time they kicked it back to Pottsburg. Another time they kicked it back to Vire. Both of them hesitate to take that shot. And the first time Pottsburg, hesitated a bit to take the shot, and it hit a body out front with that heavy of a collapse. If he takes that shot earlier, a better chance with the angle to maybe sneak it home. And again, Vire on that second opportunity, just hesitation. That's simply what it comes down to. Is we get a look at the replays there, that first pinball type goal, and then this one, the great wrap chance, and Vire there to clean up the garbage, and that was as good as it got for Kova there, getting that blue collar goal. As we see the go-ahead goal from here, Sparka Ronberg on that point shot, the one time sneaking it home on that short side pass Finsere. And that ended up being the deciding goal in that matchup. A 2-1 win for Northern Ascendancy. So good defensive effort. But again, neither of these teams really able to find their offensive groove.
I mean, again, you talk about those offensive struggles for Kova. I mean, it was ultimately that kind of gritty goal that got them on the board. Can't say they didn't try for more of those opportunities. They certainly let the puck fly, but at the end of the day, just not able to find the back of the net. We will be back after a quick word from one of our sponsors, and then we'll send you into the second game of this series and our fourth and final game of this broadcast. Don't go anywhere.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
So again to Wilhelm, Kovalan, Lakritsi, and Viaplay, we thank you very much for helping make the season what it is. Sin, we go into this second game now and talking about the adjustments that might need to be made for these two sides. I mean, Northern Ascendancy at the end of the day, Sapreeks had a strong game. The one goal he was beat, again, high traffic, high danger chance that can happen. I think for them, it's just more about cleaning up the build-up play. The in-between, if they can get a little bit more consistency on some of those passes, because they were able to generate chances. And talk about, again, how they've shuffled the deck up front. Martindale from center to the left wing to the right wing. I thought that front three looked like they had the opportunity there to put up more than the one goal that they did. Of course, the other goal coming from a defender. I'm intrigued to see how this goes. I think they are a team that has the ability to play above what their current record is right now. Again, 2-4-1 on the season, 5 points in the bag. Again, it's a 30-game regular season. There's a long way to go. But, you can look at, I think, a lot of those different moments. Martindale, Ahola having chances, Tunkelia with the potential breakaway opportunities. But more often than not, I think it just came down to the lack of consistency in the build-up play for them that cost them the chance to get a little bit more offense.
Yeah, again, I think you nailed it on the head. They had the good, sort of plays leading up to that, but they just need to be a little bit quicker on that execution and with a bit more, dare I say, finish to some of their plays. So especially with Tunkelia, there's multiple kind of partial breakaway opportunities. Yeah, that last one was well broken up by Zip player, but again, forced the turnover, got himself with a chance, just failed to bury it when it mattered. They do come away with the victory, but yeah, only 2 goals scored. If they could just get a little bit faster on their execution, a little bit more in tight with their passes, a little bit cleaner, then I think they could really take the second game here. And when it comes to Kova, again, sort of the same story. They had the setup, but I think for them, it really came down to hesitation. I think they're overthinking some of that offense at times, especially on their rush plays. They kicked the puck back into good areas, and it seemed like that trailer who got the puck almost wanted to pass it back to someone else in tight for a one-time chance, instead of just shooting that puck, trying to catch everyone flat-footed there on the collapse. And I think if Kova can do that, they will generate some more chances, perhaps from that first initial shot, get to those loose pucks, and then get that cycle going down low.
Now for Kova as well, we talked about Fincere's, first game since season 9. We're here in season 12. Pushed aside a couple of those early concerns, perhaps about the angles and the positioning. Had a pretty strong game, all things considered. Only gave up the 2 goals, and for Kova as well, we talked about it. You look through now at the 5-game mark at this stage. 5 games in the bag. They have 5 goals. And 12 against. So, at the end of the day, they're getting some solid goaltending. It's not as if the goaltending's been abysmal. It's just been the lack of offense at this stage. So, for Monkeyhead and Fincere in goal, they're doing their job. Honestly, I thought Pottsburg and Sockam and their willingness to let the shots go looked pretty good as well. That front three, though, Sin, they just have to find a way to find the back of the net. There weren't exactly, this incredible lack of chances. They had the opportunities. I think back to that one play with Zip player where he was able to weave his way through, but elected not to shoot. Looked for that extra pass, and I think that's more of an instance of, well, this just is muscle memory. It almost feels like what you're supposed to do is you make a play like that and you pass, but that extra bit of patience could have paid off in a big-time way.
Yeah, and especially, when you get in tight like that short side, sometimes it doesn't matter how good the goalie is in positioning. If you get the perfect aim on it and are able to pick that corner, not much a goalie can do from it. Yeah, he's got that dangler build, but most swingers, using puck movers as well. So when you're in tight like that, take that shot sometimes. It was a good thought to kick it over, but I believe even the pass was a bit off, or I don't believe it ever reached Jerax in that situation. So it turns out to be a bit of a wasted opportunity for Kova. And with a team that's struggling to score some goals, I think at some point, you just got to take what's given to you. Don't try to force it. And, we'll see if Kova is able to make that adjustment here in that second game, because I believe if they do that, they can really sort of catch Northern Ascendancy off guard when you beat their initial blue line hold. And if you start taking those shots, start getting in on the forecheck, we saw it from hREDS, just how strong that can be against a team that we've always considered a defensive powerhouse in Jyväskylä. Kova Esports, you're going up against Northern Ascendancy here, not quite a Jyväskylä, not quite an hREDS. You have a huge opportunity here to find some momentum, find some goal scoring, figure out some of the issues you've been having, address them, and get yourselves a win. They dropped the first game. They can't afford to drop the second game here and put themselves in too big of a hole. On the flip side, Northern Ascendancy starting to sort of claw their way out of the hole that they put them in. A second win here, or at least a point in the second game, would be massive for their early season chances.
Northern Ascendancy, claw. That's why he's the best in the business, folks. Game 2, our final game of this broadcast, is underway. Northern Ascendancy, of course, in the blue. Kova in the white in this one. And again, you would have seen it there into the build-up again. A reminder, we will be back on Wednesday. IQ and Poggers are defending champions in Philadelphia against Färjestad. We'll see how those matchups pan out. As Pottsburg throws one on, loose puck in the air. Couldn't settle it down in time. Socken holding on to it. Pottsburg, quick give and go. Has the chance, doesn't shoot. Socken over for Yarax. Tried to pick the corner. A big glove save by Sapriks. Much better from Kova through the first 4 minutes here, Sim.
Yep, I love it. They did not hesitate to shoot, and look what happened. Yeah, they didn't score. The goalie made some saves, but they got that loose puck not once but twice to keep that offensive pressure going. And they got further chances because of that. And I like the first opportunity. Pottsburg throwing the puck on net, looking for the deflection.
As Martindale tried to pick a corner there, he was denied by Finsere. Good chances on both sides here through the opening 6 minutes now. Chance. Zip player has it down low. Wheels out, back to the point. Pottsburg looking again, just couldn't feed that one through the traffic. Good block. Martindale tries to lead it back down the other way. Couldn't weave his way past 3 defenders. Yambira nowhere to go. Kova will look to settle this one down for the moment. Pass off the mark once more. Self-pass off the boards and just errant passes left and right there from Sparka Romberg. Results in the turnover. Knocked loose though by Martindale. It's all the way back into the neutral zone. Again, Sin, the passing just not quite where you would expect it to be from these two teams, resulting in a lot of broken plays. Martindale drops back for Sparka Romberg. Again, back to the captain. Now it's Teahala. Scored that first goal for Northern Ascendancy in that last game. To the point, fired just wide. Popa Toflin looking for his first goal of the season. Just couldn't hit the mark, and we have an icing call here.
Yep, trying that, I guess we could at this point deem it the Färjestad play, with Zip player being the one that tried to chase that down, but understood he would have been beaten in that scenario. But yeah, the errant passes coming out on Northern Ascendancy, especially.
What a chance off the draw and the goal. No reason for that rudeness to cut off Sin. Tunkelia gets the goal that we thought he would get in that first game. And Sin, go figure, it was off a chance, so he was basically alone in front.
Yeah, and that's a rough situation for Kova to be in. The tie-up on the face-off, Tunkelia the one to get the puck. It was actually Kova with the win right there, but the right D, I think that would have been Sock'em in that situation to go up to get it. Couldn't get the puck pickup, and well, that just led to a bit of a broken play. Tunkelia all alone out front, beats Finsere in tight. Not a whole lot he can do in that situation. And once again, Northern Ascendancy are the ones to strike first, perhaps despite not being the team getting the majority or even the better of the chances and making some errant passes there. As we see another one there, a turnover forced by Kova. Good chance to respond.
And shot it just wide, this Zip player. The dangler just not able to tuck that one in under the bar. Yeah, here's Martindale back down the other way to the point. Again down low. Huge hit there from Yarax, the defender. Popa Toflin still down. Trying to make something of this is Kova. In front. Loose puck is handled for the moment by Martindale. Socken gets that pass down low. Again intercepted on the attempt in front. Tunkelia trying to weave his way through. Holds on to it. Good pass there. Sparka Romberg, the centerman now has it once more. It's Ahola. Goes to Martindale, who's covering at the point. Good work here. Ahola down to Sparka Romberg. The pass off the mark, though. Going down the other way again. A defenseman caught up high, but a pass off the mark for Kova. Just can't have that pass not work out there, Sims. We'll get another look at this gigantic hit
Yeah, and I think at this point, it's kind of got to be said. Northern Ascendancy is struggling with their passing game. We talked about their execution not being at point. It seems to be bleeding over into other zones now. Could create some major issues for them if Kova are able to capitalize on it. But again, they're seeming to have the same struggles with execution right now as well. Just a step behind was Pottsburg right there to keep that puck in and create the cycle down low.
Yurax, though, bringing it in. Pass in front. The extra pass shot just high and wide for Saka. Pottsburg again down low. Shot and a big stop there. Supreeks tracked that one expertly. Much better passing from Kova. More of that, please, and I'm sure you'll find a breakthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yurax with a shot. Maybe not the aim he wanted on it as it kind of went into the crest of Supreeks. Nonetheless, a great play by them to generate some offense as we're seeing Fopatoflin here on the attack.
Again, the former forward in the attacking zone here. Give and go, short side, second chance glove. Stop by Finsere. Maybe a bit too much of a delay there in the slot on that backhand.
Yeah, perhaps not expecting to get that puck, but once he did, just couldn't seem to pull the trigger in time, letting Finsere sort of get up out of that butterfly sprawl.
Hot scores off the draw. The set play works again. It's the captain, Martindale, who fires this one home for his team-leading 6th of the year.
Well, he says, I won't score it on the backhand, but I'll take that forehand one-timer. Thank you very much. No one there to cover him. It was Zip player going up to sort of break up the point opportunity. Pottsburg couldn't quite get over in time. It's always sort of a dangerous scenario. If you do move over to cover that guy, then you got that centerman who can creep into that slot uncontested. If the right D shifts over, then someone else will be open. It's such a hard play to defend against, but that's why those offensive and defensive zone face-offs so important right there. Northern Ascendancy shows why as they take a 2-goal lead here at the end of the first.
I mean, Sin, it's incredible to me just the evolution of this where, good chance there, set point blank, he scores! Teahola in front off of a gifted opportunity. Northern Ascendancy add another one.
And that is just a rough break for Kova right there off the goaltender. And I think that would have been Vire trying to clear that puck out. Can't get possession of it. Kicks right up to Teahola. And Finsere sort of caught in no man's land on that short side. Had to cover that pass that went into him. You can see him trying to slide back over. Just not enough reaction time. And Teahola gets his second here, I believe, of this matchup. And wow, what a flurry there by Northern Ascendancy, and they will just kill the clock there after another face-off win from Teahola, who's doing a bit of everything, goal scoring, winning some face-offs, and Northern Ascendancy, the first stranglehold that we can say we've seen in this matchup, and perfect time to get it there at the end of the period, really taking the wind out of the proverbial sails, if at all, that Kova had.
2.7 seconds on the clock with that last goal. A little shout out to Freaks for rocking the old Maine Mariners mask, by the way. Looks good on you, buddy. But, I mean, Sin, you see it there. 2 goals off of set plays on the draw. And that was the point I was going to make before that third goal happened. Set plays off the draw have always been a part of the EASHL, but I feel like we're seeing a continued evolution of them as of late in the Elite Division, where it's almost being treated, and not to make the football/soccer comparison, but they're almost becoming as deadly of routine plays as like free kicks, as you would see, whether in either the real-life sport or in a game like FIFA. They're becoming so incredibly dangerous as if they weren't already, and a team like Northern Ascendancy making the most of them here. Great first period for them.
Yeah, well, I'll yield to your expertise on that, as I have not played a soccer game since, I believe, either 06 FIFA, and then before that, World Cup 98 on my PlayStation 1. Yes, I'm old. I've dated myself horrifically in this broadcast, but let's get back to something I do know that I can talk about. Definitely the hockey side of things. But you said it. It's very interesting seeing the evolution of those set plays and just how dangerous teams are becoming at them.
Quick chance off the draw here. Point blank. Stopped again by Supreeks. Great opportunity. Big hit there. They win it back. Got stopped again by Supreeks. Sin, we talked about it in the pregame. He is a fantastic netminder. If you can just get him some help. That shot deflects wide. Kept alive. Another chance there. Sparko Ronberg looking for another goal. Good move. Shot and a stop by Finsere. Where was this pace? Like, we've seen glimpses of this pace. What a way to start to the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, perhaps Northern Ascendancy figuring something out, got their confidence flowing right there a bit. Sparker Romberg almost with a one-timer that probably would have found the back of the net or just sailed wide. Just well defended there by Kova to prevent that opportunity, but they've got to get something going here. They have to open it up. We've seen them, be really playing cautious. They're no longer afforded that luxury. It's not a close game. They got to figure something out. Another errant pass, though, will kill any sort of offensive momentum they had, but that being said, Northern Ascendancy, a bit of a sloppy breakout pass, as we've said a couple times here.
It's for Yarak, selected the pass. Luke's puck is handled. I mean, Sin, you could say this game's over, unless Kova proves us wrong. They're averaging 1 goal a game so far, down by 3. I mean, we'll stick with it, as this one, I believe, went over the glass. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's time for Kova to figure something out at this stage. I mean, again, talk about a team that has playoff aspirations. You have time in a 30-game season to figure stuff out, but not that much time. Northern Ascendancy is in on the attack here, down low in the corner. It's Sparker Romberg again pinching in. To be held in by Fopa Toflin. Back down low. He gets cleaned out on the hip, but still his team in possession. Ahola tried to go back to him in that pass. Is off the mark, but for Northern Ascendancy, I mean, again, you got about half a game to go. More time killed off the clock, the better.
Yeah, absolutely there, as they seem to be, again, some of their passing plays just a bit off, even right there on a simple kind of break-in plays, and decided to pass it into traffic instead of the open man. Some questionable decisions coming out from Northern Ascendancy, but they do have quite a bit of a cushion, and you said it earlier, until Kova Esports proves that they can make them pay, won't be a threat.
Great chance in front, turnover again. Martindale's shot not able to find its way through. Got another big hit there, Sockham. Living up to his reputation. Vire over the line, looking, tried to find Zip player backdoor on the pass. Just off the mark, knocked loose. Yarak tries to shovel one on. Again, just doesn't go. Tunkelia able to find Ahola in a little bit of space here. Spin move to Martindale to Tunkelia, blocked down by Vire. Shot again by Tunkelia, just wide. Now going back down the other way. Here comes Kova. Yarak's looking, drives the net. Loose puck is recovered by Ahola. Done a great job as the centerman to get back and help out on defense. Fopa Toflin was pinching there. Sparker Romberg recovers. Picked up at the line, fed over. Martindale tried to pass. Just wasn't there. Tunkelia getting up slow again. He's had a rough night over there, having to deal with Sockham. Pottsburg, the shot on. Contact with the goalie, but he makes the save regardless.
Yeah, and, Northern Ascendancy doing a pretty good job on counterattacks. Both of these teams, actually, on their back check, have done a good job of intercepting some of those passes. Unfortunately, they're not able to turn them into quick strikes of their own, as we see that set play.
Off the draw, and he flashes the leather. Supreeks says, I feel like I've seen that one before. He makes a huge stop.
They're going to go for it once again. Yeah, they were going for it once again with the forehand, but good job. It's easier to sort of prevent it when it is that forehand play.
Going down the other way. Here comes Kova. Good job there by Sparker Romberg. He takes a huge hit, though. Another injury. Kova. Physical play. I think it'd give them a benefit at some point. Back down low to Ahola from the point to flex. Vincere makes the save, plays it out nearly. Gets dunked on. Northern Ascendancy right back in, staying on the attack because of that pass out. Ahola to Romberg. He gets run over. Zip player loses it on the poke check. Martindale, the stick lift, wins it, but it's going to be called offside. Interesting. I'd like to see that one again. We'll get another look here, perhaps. No, I thought we'd get another look at another knockdown, drag-out hit, but not on this occasion. 1:23 to go here in this second period. 3-0 the scoreline for Northern Ascendancy. We're in possession now. Again, they made the playoffs last year as our 8th seed. A big accomplishment for them. Tunkelia not able to win it back. Final 10 seconds. Can Kova find a goal that might be able to spark something here? Yarax throws it on, handled well by Supreeks, and that will do it. I mean, instead, it's not for a lack of trying, but Supreeks just denying them at every opportunity.
Yeah, when they do get a chance that they want, Supreeks is there with the save. They got that set face-off play. Supreeks, a huge glove save. Honestly, it's massive. He didn't give him the best or the prettiest animation to just show how big that was. But again, we've talked about it. That aggressive face-off play with the quick one-time over. We saw Northern Ascendancy do it with just the normal face-off positioning, and it worked on Finseri, and that time Sapriks came up with the glove save. Again, a more dangerous chance than it looked like with that save animation. But again, at times when Kova, I'm going to kind of address that. The last play they have, I think it was Yerax who was coming in on the left-hand side, tried to sauce it to the middle, and it was just, again, the play wasn't quite there. Northern Ascendancy was covering it. It just kind of shows the mentality of Kova. They seem to be almost not sure what to do. They're sort of forcing the middle when they shouldn't. They're working the perimeter when they shouldn't. They just seem to be a bit off. And as this series has gone on, Northern Ascendancy have cleaned some things up. Still, you know, some of their breakout passes and passes in general are kind of off and, you know, looking perhaps a bit worse than they are. You know, some of them just errant off the boards and stuff like that. But again, as a whole, Northern Ascendancy has gotten better. They found more chances. They capitalized on more chances. And Kova Esports just continuing to struggle, and the gap is widening between these two teams here.
So here we are, third period of this one. Shot just wide in the early stages. It's time for Kova to find that offensive touch. We're going to miss out on points here in both of these matchups. There's a turnover there. Martindale has Tunkelia with him, but the pass is off the mark. Quick give and go. Shot doesn't find its way through. Ahola still battling for it, and he recovers. Back to the point for Patoflin. Shot deflects and scores!
Own goal. I think it's an own goal. It did deflect, but not off of an offensive player right there. Yeah, the credit goes to Patoflin, who I believe is the one who took that shot. Hits off of, I want to say it was Vire right there. He did slam his stick on the ice, and it trickles through. Not a whole lot Finseri can do on that play. Just a bouncing puck that finds its way through the 5-hole, and things go from bad to worse for Kova Esports here.
Patoflin's first of the year from the blue line here. Ahola does get an assist to add to his record as the club's leading scorer so far this season. We'll get another look at this one for sure. But again, a tough break there for Kova. If this one wasn't over, it likely is now. It looks like it might have been off the stick of Sockham. Off the stick, and then just missing the skate of Pottsburg. That's a real tough break. Perfect deflection from Sockham.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's a perfect deflection for Sockham. The problem is, it was on your own netminder, Don Cherry, punching the air right now for those defensemen having their sticks in the shooting lanes. But that's a rough one to give up right there, and really through no fault of their own. But it's just, if you're Kova, it's like, what else can go wrong for us?
See what Northern Ascendancy can do here. Martindale over the line. Tunkelia still fighting for it. If you're Kova right now, you're playing for a little bit of momentum. You got to figure out something offensively. Yerax draws the call. Power play, perhaps. One-timer. What a stop again by Sapriks. How did Pottsburg not find pay dirt there?
Yeah, Sapriks just has made massive saves off these one-times. We're going to see if Kova can pull off that set play.
High up. Zip player tried the short side. Sapriks said no. I mean, I'm going to call it right now. Like, if there's a top team, no disrespect to Northern Ascendancy, who are playoff caliber, if there's a top team, I don't understand how Sapriks hasn't gotten a better look. What a stop there on Vere. On the backhand, Sapriks has been one of the more consistently solid goaltenders.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around since Season 3. I mean, between playing for, you know, a couple of different teams, but he's never been on that top-tier caliber team, whether it be as, you know, Northern Ascendancy, Luleo, Rusty Blades. Like, he's never gotten a shot on one of those top teams, and I genuinely think he could be that type of guy to get that call-up and be given an opportunity. Shot there, stopped again and covered. And this is just turning into a highlight reel for him. Sin, this is his audition tape at this stage.
It's brilliant positioning from him. He's not oversliding. He's not overcommitting. His positioning is near flawless, and that's why he's getting those saves.
Around the back of the net here, pressured by Yerax. Goes for the wrap. Not there. Good defense by Tunkelia. Again, a former defender stepping up to offense this year. Essentially switched with Patoflin. Again, pass in front, off the mark. It's interesting, of course, on that right-hand side of your screen, left wing, left D, the ability for Tunkelia and Patoflin to switch. It's like you got a defender or a forward no matter what. if they want to change things up on the fly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of utility there for Northern Ascendancy here, and a good start for them to sort of work their way back into the positive column here in the season, you know, making the most out of their opportunity. I mean, dare we say at this point, looks like they've got this one in the bag simply because we mentioned it. Kova hasn't proven to us or to Northern Ascendancy that they're, you know, enough of a threat to be able to come back in a game like this.
Loose puck kicked on net there. Held around the back of the net. I mean, it was a rough start to the season for Northern Ascendancy, entering today at 1-4-1. Obviously now up to 3-4-1 and looking a lot better in terms of those playoff aspirations in the early stages of this season. 7 minutes to go in this one. And for Kova right now, I mean, it's shocking that they haven't scored, but it's been a great effort by the Northern Ascendancy netminders, Supreeks, to hold them off of the score sheet. Good job there by Pottsburg to win that one. But, I mean, again, you have time to figure things out offensively. We talked about it for Northern Ascendancy switching around the offense in. But for Kova, you got to figure out something and fast, because with the way this season's going, I mean, who's to say, you know, these early season struggles, that you don't find yourselves in a relegation battle because of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just... what else can you say at this point? I mean, every time that puck goes loose and Northern Ascendancy kills the zone, they get that much closer to finishing this game off. And Kova just unable to find Bader. They throw it in front again. No one gets their stick on it.
Chance for Vera down low for Yarak. Zip player denied. Supreeks outstanding. As if it wasn't bad enough to have your offensive struggles, you are running into a goaltender who has started off this season on the right foot, to say the least. Another kick stop there. Supreeks again. This is his audition tape. Loose puck in front. Cleared out for the moment by Fopatoflin. Another chance. Loose in front. Martindale will send it out to Nkelia. Gives chase. He's got it all alone. Quick shot there. Vincere makes the stop. Maybe he was expecting the flying poke check again. And a trip is going to be called on Teahola, the centerman. Will take a seat with 48 seconds to go. A chance for Kova to maybe find something here on the power play.
Yeah, at this point, it's a point of pride. If you do not score here before the end of this game, you are sub 1 goal per game as a team. And that is simply not a winning effort or even sustainable.
Sock'em holds it. Pottsburg tries to go D-to-D. Sock'em recovers. Back to Pottsburg. Shot from Zip player. Great look. My goodness, what a performance from Supreeks here. Under 30 to go. Zip player circling around with that smaller dangler build. Pass doesn't go. Sock'em holds. Double team pressure. Finds Pottsburg. A cross shot stopped again by Supreeks. One of the finest goaltending performances I recall in recent memory. Final 8 seconds. Not cleared out. Shot blocked. And that will do it. Supreeks and Northern Ascendancy walk away with all 4 points. A well-deserved shutout. A well-earned shutout. His first of the season. What a job there by the netminder for Northern Ascendancy.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's honestly, it's deceiving. Not so much that he's getting the shutout, but deceiving just in the way that he never seemed to get those huge save animations, and that's because he was nearly in perfect positioning. His anticipation of what Kova wanted to do was near flawless. Even when he lost that, kind of got out of position there, he got, you know, that split save animation against Zip player, and then you can see it, Zip player circling around there on the power play, trying to find something to open up, something to catch Supreeks off guard. They couldn't do it. He gets that shutout there, as you mentioned, very well deserved. He played phenomenally, honestly, and again, one of the better goaltending performances that you will see, despite maybe perhaps there not being what you would consider highlight reel saves. There were huge saves being made by him that should have been highlight reel if not for his near perfect positioning. And goodness gracious, Northern Ascendancy, 4 huge points for them. As you mentioned, they improved now to 3-4-1 on the season, that much closer to 500, and after that much closer to working themselves into a playoff picture. 16 save shutout. That's incredible. What a performance by Supreeks.
Kova with the advantage in basically every statistical aspect. did not matter. Northern Ascendancy able to find the back of the net. Wouldn't say necessarily, since it was a poor showing for Finsere in his season debut over these 2 games. But at the end of the day, I mean, obviously that offensive firepower advantage belonging to Northern Ascendancy, and it showed in this one as you get a look here again at the goals, including that final goal for Fopa Toflin, his first of the season. I mean, a really rough kind of way for that to go for Kovasin.
Yeah, you kind of feel for them. You want to be able to pull for these teams. Again, we as commentators, we don't have favorites. We cast as objectively as possible, but you want to see a team sort of pick themselves up, get off of that back, find something that works. We want this division to be as competitive as possible, and oftentimes it is. But so far early in this season, Kova just unable to sort of find that edge in order to score some goals. Again, as mentioned, not scoring in that game. They only have 5 goals as a team in now 6 games played. That's sub 1 goal for per game. And that first one, Finsere only allowed 2 goals. If you're a goaltender and you allow just 2 goals, that's giving your team a chance to win. His team didn't give him the goal support. His team didn't win. And as a result, they get 0 points out of this matchup with a team, again, that was a bottom feeder coming into this. You allow them to work their way back towards 500, and you as a team are now 2-4-0 on the year.
Wilson, don't worry. For Kova, as you're struggling to find goals, you have Havu, multiple-time champions, coming up on Wednesday, so that is a rough way to go. For Northern Ascendancy, they'll also be playing on Wednesday, taking on newly promoted Tunnel Vision, so a great chance there with that newly reworked front 3. Seemed to work out well today, and if Supreeks can play like that, again, I can't imagine a top team not calling for Supreeks within the next season or 2. Again, for Northern Ascendancy, make the most of this guy now, because he might be getting an offer he can't refuse very, very soon. That said, we are done here today, but again, we will be back on Wednesday. Same time for more Elite Division action, as we'll see the newly promoted IQ, newly rebranded as well, taking on Poggers, the former SJ, both teams with playoff aspirations. And then, of course, on Wednesday as well, I see him being mentioned in chat. Eki and company on our defending champions Philadelphia will be in action against another playoff caliber team, part of the Big Five, so to speak. Färjestad have their big challenge ahead of them as well. So again, that'll be on Wednesday, June the 2nd, this Wednesday, as well as the... Can you believe it? We come up to the halfway point of the year already, Sin. It's absolutely ridiculous. But again, more action this Wednesday, and of course, more action on Thursday as well. That'll be in Finnish. So Sin and I will be back on Wednesday. We hope to see you then. Sin, any closing words here as we wind this down? Another solid day of action with a lot of storylines continuing to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, there's just a lot of competitiveness, and I do got to shout out to something that happened on Twitter. As you did mention, Philadelphia, we had our account post out, what a start to the season that hREDS was having, a bunch of their members up top leading in points. Just after their matchup, Philadelphia counters with a tweet of their own using the exact same words, showing their 3 forwards at the top as they had massive offensive performances. And I think we're going to see that rivalry keep playing out over the course of the season. We'll see the Twitter chirping turn into, a matchup on the ice and perhaps meeting in the playoffs as well. And you may be hoping for another finals matchup between the two, because it was phenomenal last season. But nonetheless, tons of narratives, tons of storylines. You're not going to want to miss out on a broadcast. We thank you so much for tuning into this one, and hopefully see you back Wednesday.
Again, a big thank you to our sponsors, Viaplay, Wilhelm, and lovely Kovalan Lakritzi. We will see you all on Wednesday. Again, make sure to check out NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need. Sin and I on Twitter, and of course everywhere else. Easy enough to find us. We'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a good night.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.